All right, welcome everybody to the 2954 Neno Cup. We have just started with the first race, Bloodshot Sprint. We've got 11 racers down here in Cyclone RCs. They are going 14 kilometers from the top of Bloodshot Ridge all the way to a finish zone about 14 kilometers away. I'm Steve CC, and Kaostar is our second commentator. Howdy, Kaostar.
Hello.
All right. Looks like we've got Jacoden in the lead. They're heading down into one of the chutes that is down at the bottom of the ravine. Let me see. Actually, that might be Colbosa that's in the lead. Talking about the format here, we have 11 racers representing 8 different teams, and they're all. The Neno Cup is a series where they're all trying to get as many points out of 2,000 points as possible. So this race total is going to be worth 250 points out of that total. So what they're doing now, they're making the descent on the first hill out of Bloodshot Ridge. There's a lot of rocks and boulders here. This is probably one of the most difficult parts of the track. So they're taking it a little easy, but as soon as they get into this flat area, it's going to open up. Looks like Gerbo is in the lead. All right, mic volume is up. Thank you. All right, yeah, it looks like Gerbo in the lead with Jacoden just behind. We've got Boltok and Fresh 001 just behind. Followed by Kelsar playing Fox. Yeah, Gerbo has pulled quite ahead. Looks like we have a bit of a jam back there. And Kale starts on our second camera. I guess Kale, what are you seeing there?
Something happened where they were all bound up, and Gerbo got out of that bottleneck with now a gigantic lead between him and Jacoden, followed by Colbosa Fresh. Colbosa Boltok and Fresh. Those were all sort of another little jam up there. It's got to be hard to see with so many different sources of light around you moving in the dynamic surface going downhill. So that's probably going to continue to happen. Looks like Gerbo's got an even bigger lead, about double what he just had when we first focused on him here.
So if we get down here in, okay, we've got down here in Fresh. We're in sort of Fresh's cockpit, or I'm behind Fresh. I know a lot of racers drive in third person, which means they're not seeing party markers. Let's see. Up above, we've got Soap One down there and Kelsar. Looks like Soap One just did a 180. Let's pop in. This is Soap One's POV. So we can see all the racers are still in a pretty tight group. Let's see. Yeah, looking at that big group. And so the sort of snow highways in the middle of this this track. So the racers are free to pick any path they want to go onto the finish, but the snow highways sort of have the least rocks, and they sort of point the way. And they are all aiming for some snowy peaks that they see in the distance. Looks like Fresh is in the front of this group, checking in with Fresh.
Oh, Gerbo
Fresh's name on there.
Gerbo is a full kilometer ahead.
Yeah, I know. Gerbo is one of the ground racers out there who has put in a lot of time on SCR, and is one of the top ranked ground racers out there.
And so all three of these, first, second, and third place, are rum runners for the Sanglis Luna racing team.
Just massive lead there out of Gerbo.
little bit of dispersion forming in the back now as well, with Kelsar and Kolbosa.
And now racers, they've got a 25-minute time limit. And I know the fastest pace is going to be around 11 and a half minutes. And of course, the racers are free to pick any route. So we're going to see if some of them, for example, if they're going to be following Gerbo's route or if they're going to be taking their own routes. Let's check in with Soap 1 here. Get Soap 1's tag on screen. And yeah, I know racers, basically, they're trying to navigate at sort of a longer distance, and they're also trying to dodge these rocks sort of as they see them. So it's sort of, you have to be looking in both the far distance and the near distance. All right, let's check back in with Kalistar. Overhead, we've got Boltok I see down there. All right, looks like Gerbo has reached the halfway point. Let's check in with Boltok here. With the headlights, it could be hard to navigate otherwise, but luckily we've got headlights in the distance. Racers, if they go into first person, we'll be able to see Luigi 509's marker, but now some of them have practiced and some of them are able to sort of see it from, know the landmarks and things from ground level. Going over to Fresh, looks like Fresh is using Reshade, which is this is a shader thing that you can use to get extra visibility. It is allowed in races, and it can be helpful, especially in challenging light conditions.
Yeah, the light is a little weird on this course. It does change.
Oh, yeah. Can we get a cam on Ricky Tiki? All right.
I don't see Ricky.
All right. Got a camera on Ricky. So he's looking from overhead. It looks like Ricky Tiki is more or less caught up with Boltok. Let's hop in with Boltok. Looks like these racers are towards the outside of the course. About 8 minutes. Looks like they've got probably 3-4 minutes to go. Tight group over here on the side. Looks like Kolbosa and Boltok head to head, neck and neck. So they're probably about 4 minutes out from the finish. It's going to start getting rocky and hillier, and route selection is going to play a big part when we get to the end. Looks like Gerbo still has a pretty sizable lead that Gerbo has. And we have our second group.
Ricky and Kolbosa just collided. Looks like they both landed upright though. Playing Fox just passed both of them after the collision. Kelsar is currently passing Boltok.
It's like they are very close to each other. It's like checking in with Gerbo, their primary camera. Looks like Gerbo taking advantage of the sort of less terrain disruptions here and sort of no rocks in sight and sort of getting a lot of speed on the downhill. So luckily the Cyclones are pretty hardy, so we haven't really been seeing racers lose wheels in practice. So I think hopefully Gerbo should be able to make it to the end. So we've got Pack there, Speedweed holding up the rear, and then Gerbo, Jacoden, and Fresh. Let's check in with Fresh. Jacoden here. All right, I think that looks like it's probably Fresh is in our... Fresh is in third place, Jacoden is in second. It's like about an even separation between Gerbo, Jacoden, and Fresh. So Fresh looks like taking a very similar route to Gerbo. One thing, if you're overhead, the path that the racers would take if they were going directly is much more hilly. So pretty much all of the racers have decided to go off sort of to the left of the track where it's a little less rocky. But they still do have to do some hill climbs, and the Cyclone does not have amazing hill climb ability.
Yeah, it does look like Gerbo is struggling here. Slowed to a crawl for this climb.
See, looking at the separation from the overhead, looks like Jacoden has made up ground. Looks like Gerbo is very close to the finish. You gotta get eyes on Gerbo. I think looks like Gerbo is pretty close. Thank you, Kalistar. Looks like Gerbo is, yep, just crossing the line. So into this open section there, that is the finish. So
Congrats,
that
Gerbo.
is a finish for Gerbo. Let's see. I think this is Jacoden doing that final climb into the finish. Watching Jacoden coming in here. Well-deserved second. Looks like a very likely second place. Coming up down that final descent, I think. And here we go, Jacoden. Yep, just crossing that line into that finish zone. Right,
Congrats to Jacoden. Well done.
Looks like we got Fresh doing this final climb. Hopping in with Fresh. Making the way up the hill. Coming to the finish there, looks like they're coming in. Don't have a neck and neck situation, so there has been a little bit of separation, but we are seeing very, very close grouping between the racers.
That's a huge congrats to the Sanguis Luna race team for taking first, second, and third. They always show up and perform at races, but that's impressive. Well done, guys. And Boltok is coming in for a fourth place, it looks like. And a somewhat close cluster here. Really close 5th and 6th place finish about to be had between Playing Fox and Jellyhead. Jellyhead also racing for Sanguis Luna. Oh, Fox spun out and is still flipping. And Jelly passes for the 5th place. Nice job.
Finish for Jelly. And then looks like we've got Soap 1 coming in. Oh, taking it backwards. Amazing. Oh, looks like Soap bounced, and that was a finish out of
Ricky Ticky. Well done. Kobosa looks like he's about to pass.
Oh, no.
Soup there.
Soap is turtle.
And Kalsar as well.
I think that is a tragic for Soap. Let's see. Oh, looks like Kalsar just gave Soap a bonk. Helping out a fellow racer there, but still edging just ahead. So it's Kalsar at the finish there.
Well done.
And there's Kalsar into the line. All right, and we have Speedweed holding up the rear. On the final stretch. looks like Speedweed has passed the halfway point and sort of following the general route the other racers took. Going into some live results here, we can see the teams we've got. So it looks like GerboTheGnome for Sanguis, black in first, Jacoden and Fresho01, Sanguis red, second and third. Boltok representing Washed Up, fourth place, Jellyhead Maid and Sanguis in fifth. Then Playing Fox, Soap1 both in Origin Speedsters in sixth and eighth. Ricky Tiki seventh, I believe I can fly. Colbosa for Solo Turbora in ninth. Kelsar Q Prime in 10th, and then looks like Speedweed for XGR is coming up there for 11th and making good time now on the open section. Yeah, how was that down there, Kale? How did you see that race in terms of the positioning between the racers and everything?
It went surprisingly better than I thought it was going to be with the clusters that formed in the beginning, and I believe that's exactly what gave Gerbo the advantage for him to take a commanding lead and then not give up any ground. I believe was just a bottleneck right there in the beginning, which seemed like it was bound to happen. So he certainly took advantage of that and created distance quickly, and then he just continued to grow the gap between himself and the rest of the pack.
Yeah, I think in looking at Gerbo, I think showing some of Gerbo's results from SCR, we've got Gerbo, for example, getting first place in the Daymar Rally 2024. Some others is representing Sanguis, and then teammate Jellyhead. Oh, and then that's a finish for Speedweed. All right, congrats, Speedweed. All right. That was a great race. All right, looks like we're gonna try to grab Gerbo for a winning interview, and it's like racers are getting
Gerbo,
back
congrats.
out of the lobby. Yeah, congratulations, Gerbo.
Thanks. That's what 8 months of exclusively ground racing does for you. Now you get to see me in all the stuff I haven't done for 8 months.
Oh, congratulations.
So it looked like a bit of a bottleneck. Gave you a gigantic lead that you just didn't give up any ground on after. Is that what happened?
I don't know. I think Jacko was ahead of me at the start, and at the start, someone reversed over the log pile in the front and near took me down the hill. But I think it was just momentum, and I was surprised they didn't go all the way down. But the beginning's always about survival, so you can survive. In ground racing, it's about consistency and safety, and then you can add speed.
Yeah, that was an incredible performance. It looks like the start, at least from our perspective, actually seemed relatively clean, even though everybody was bunched up. But it looked like in sort of the bottleneck in the canyon was where folks started to. I don't know, what would you say was the hardest part of the start, or at least in your practice, from basically getting to that smooth section?
I think the hardest part is just learning how to take the hills, because you make a lot of time up in climbs. If you try and take them direct on, or you don't have speed going up a hill, you're just going to take forever to climb it. So it's about transitioning between sections, which everyone seemed to do pretty well. That was close in the front. The second half is all about just maintaining speed through not climbing. So
Yeah, it looks like next racer after you is within 36 seconds. And then minute 23, minute 51, 210, 212, 221, 224, 238. So yeah, most racers were within 2 to 3 minutes of your time. So it seems like, I don't know, would you say, I think the route was similar. So part of it maybe just micro route optimization, like getting, you know, even though you were all sort of on the same path, it seemed like you were able to build that lead.
right, yeah, it's about, with ground racing, it's all about how your wheels are in contact with the ground most of the time, right? So you don't want to be hitting small jumps. You want to try and find the smoothest path possible. It's why Herbie is so much fucking better than me. He'll if he was here, he'd be another minute ahead of me yet. So
All right, shout out to Herbie. Shout out to Gerbo. Congratulations and good luck in the next race, the Snake Pit.
yeah, thanks again.
All right, so transitioning over to Snake Pit. Yeah, I guess talking about this race, this is a 3-lap race we've got at the Snake Pit here. Racers going to be doing 3 laps, and the way the Neno Cup works is for the ship races, the teams all picked manufacturers. So we have teams representing Origin, Anvil, and Aegis, and they will be racing with the ships from those manufacturers' lists for all of the ship choice races. So what we have next up, we've got this Snake Pit race coming up. We will be racing racers in heats of 3 or 4. 3 laps at a time, and the winners of those heats will go head-to-head in a final round, and they will be racing ships from Origin, Aegis, or Anvil. 300 series for Origin, Avenger and Titan for Aegis, and Arrow for Anvil. Then we'll be heading to Yadar Valley. They will be racing either cutters or prospectors, and then it's off to Lorville Outskirts, again in their ship choice, and then we'll finish up with a 15-minute endurance race at Miner's Paradise, which is a subsection of Miner's Lament. Yella. All right, we will take a short break, and we'll be back as the racers get ready. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's like racers are going to be getting ready, setting up the grid, and we can talk through some of the results. We can talk through the results that we had in the first half, or in the first race. Just pull those up. Okay. You're still muted. All right, welcome back, everybody. So looking at these results so far, we've got GerboTheGnome with 250 points, Jacoden with 220, Fresh 001, 190, Boltok 170, Jellyhead Made 160, Playing Fox 150, Ricky Ticky 140, Soap 130, Colbosa 120, Kelsar 110, and Speedweed 100. So because the team members, we take the best team member's score. So the way that ends up is Sanguis Black has the most points so far with 250 points. Sanguis Red with 220 points. Origin Speedsters, which is Soap 1 and Playing Fox, are next with 150 points. Solo Turbor, which is Colbosa, is next with, or it looks like a Sire Racing Team. Oh, my mistake with the sort. Sorry, it is Washed Up Boltok is in third place with 170. Origin Speedsters 150. Sire Racing Team 140. Solo Turbo 120. Q Prime, which is Kelsar with 110, and then XGR with 100 points. So only 150 points separating the back from the front. So Snake Pit, we've got 150 points up for grabs. The way it works is in each heat group, it's 80 points for first place, then 60, then 30, then 20. But those heat winners will be in a final, and then the winner of that final will get a bonus 70 points, then 40, then 20. So there are total, if you win a heat, that's 80 points, and then there's up to 70 points for winning that final race. And we're just, waiting for them to get the grid set up. And I guess talking through the Snake Pit. So let's Kelstar. Let's talk about the history of the Snake Pit a little bit. When was the first time you raced the Snake Pit, or you were aware of the Snake Pit? Like, what's your history with the Snake Pit?
I went to the first racing school I attended in XGR, I believe, was the first week of February of last year, and that was when Shaq New was teaching classes. I had no idea this even existed. It's before it was an official race, I believe, in the verse, like in Star Citizen, because a mission. It's a really amazing track. This was designed by, I believe this was Osashis and Black Maze, who got the original idea for the paths through these little miniature, I guess they'd be mining canyons. I'm not really sure what you'd call them. And CIG came in and put the assets in and sort of made it an actual location. It's a thinner atmosphere and lower gravity, but you still get aero grip with the ships. Super challenging course. The first turn is really just a great filter because it's so many collisions happen on that first turn. Just because the nature of the turn is, it's so drifty, and you have to keep a good line through there in order to maintain any sort of speed coming out. So this track is my favorite, my personal favorite in the of the PU mission tracks. This is my favorite. It's just a real skill check of a track. I mean, if you go from Lorville to something like Snake Pit, the demand for your abilities to fly and navigate are really tested on this track, especially when you're with when you're lined up with a grid. I love this track. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it was actually, the Snake Pit was the first track I ever raced in. Some folks were like, oh, if you're into racing, check out XGR. And yeah, it was just these canyons. If you can see the canyons down there, the track limits, you actually had to stay below the walls of the canyons. So which
are deceptively high, though. They are. This track is huge when you're on foot. These 300 series are deceptively big, but this track is gigantic, really.
Yeah, just for scale, I know the Gladius down there is the size of about an F-14, even though it looks like a tiny little plane. All right, looks like we are seconds away from the start of the first heat with Snake Pit. All right, and they're off. Heading into Drifter's Paradise. Looks like we've got Jellyhead Maid in the front, taking that beautiful 270-degree drift, just not nicking the edge there. Heading into the turn that we call the pinch.
Wow, beautiful line through there. Absolutely beautiful line.
That was a very clean start. Oh, it looks like Soap 1. Oh, taking it wide. Oh, it was that Soap 1 and Boltok colliding, I think. And so Jellyhead Maid with a large
commanding lead here, chased by Kelsar and the Gladius. But yeah, Boltok and Soup collided there and exploded. Jellyhead coming around for the final straightaway stretch here before the final turn to the start-finish for lap 1. Good job, Jellyhead, on that first lap. His line through Drifters, the first turn, was really, really smooth.
Looks like we had a DNF from Kelsar and Jellyhead finishing that first lap. Very nice, Jelly. One thing to go over about the format, if you do not finish or DNF on a second or third lap, you're ranked based on when you completed that first lap. However, if you DNF on the first lap, it counts as 0 points because we can't rank you with the other racers because you haven't completed a lap. So that is just that is tragic for Boltok, Soap, and Kelsar because it looks like Jellyhead is the only one in this heat that's going to be walking out of here with points. Because we're doing all of these formats at once in the same event, these racers are only getting one chance to qualify for a final heat. There's just one heat and then the finals. So that is best.
Well done, Jelly. That was great.
Congrats, Jelly. So best of luck. Best of luck to Boltok, Soap, and Kelsar when we see them at Yadar Valley in the either Cutter or Prospector. Oh, that was quite the race. All right, we are waiting for wait for some of those results to come in and wait for that next grid. But yeah, that was wild.
And that's Sanguis Luna with another first place.
Right, so looking at those final results. From this last heat. All right, yep. Jellyhead, 3 laps. and a fastest lap of 23 seconds. Although that... Okay, looks like we have... And looks like our results are in for Group A. So, yep, that is 80 points, another 80 points for... another 80 points for Sanguis Black. All right, just looking over all of our participants total. You can see, so scr.gg is website if you're not familiar with it. There's leaderboards, track guides for a lot of these, both user-made tracks as well as leaderboards for the tracks that are in game. So some of the racers out here, you can see the number of gold medals, silver medals, and bronze medals on those leaderboards that they have, and their sort of total racing score that they've got.
Back, Steve.
So we can see, for example, we have quite a few world records. We got Fresh with 11 world records, as well as Playing Fox with 1 world record, and Speedweed with 1 world record. So we will be looking at our grid for this race. It'll be Fresh, then Playing Fox, then Speedweed, then Ricky Tiki. So I know a lot of these racers have put a lot of time into the snake pit. All right, and we are waiting for them to get going. All right. One thing I'll mention, so this is day 1 of the Neno Cup. We've also got day 2. Day 2 is going to be our finals, and that will be at a new track in the PU called Providence Park. That track is set around the Providence platform. You're basically flying around this lovely floating Orison platform with no ground to worry about, but lots of platforms. So you can look forward to that on day 2. That'll be August 17th. And the total scores from today for the teams are going to determine their grid placement for all 3 races on day 2. So it's not just points that are on the line, it's also their starting grid order for day 2. All right, and then talking about what's on the line here. So we've got, so this being a team race, we have individual prizes for the individual racers. So we have a total pool of 10 million AUEC sponsored by Anzia Racing and Frontier Consolidated Racing. So that's 5 million for the first place racer across the entire both days of the Cup, 3 million for second place, and 2 million for third place. But for the team prizes, we've got pledges. So the first place team, whether they're 1 or 2 racers, will walk away with either 1 or 2 400i LTI pledges. And then second place, each racer will walk away with a C1 Spirit LTI, and then third place, a C8R LTI per team member. And those prizes, half of those prizes are sponsored by Cloud Imperium. So thank you to Cloud Imperium, Frontier Consolidated, and Anzia Racing for helping to sponsor these pools and give these racers a carrot to chase after. Looks like we have racers getting the grid set up. So yeah, Kalestar, what do you think we're going to see in this second heat as we're watching Luigi set the grid?
Well, I know that Fresh has a ton of experience, along with, this whole grid does. Speed is a veteran. Playing Fox obviously used to be a time trial monster. Ricky's a veteran, and Fresh is an 11-time world record holder. So it's going to come down to who practiced this, because every one of these pilots knows how to race. And the 300 series is so heavy, and I can only imagine that it takes a good bit of practice to get used to how it feels in turn one, which is really so critical, even with this small grid. As you saw, I believe that was that Neno's Alley where they collided?
Yep, that was Neno's Alley.
Yeah, exactly. Those two spots right there are going to be filter points, I believe, for even a small grid, because these ships are so big. Compared to a Razor or M50, for instance, which is what we're used to seeing on Snake Pit.
That's another thing that we're mentioning. All these racers, so the ships for the Neno Cup, these are larger ships. They're a little bit slower. It's for a number of reasons, but that does mean basically they're all non-meta ships. So the racers out here, even if they're really familiar with the track and really familiar with like time trial optimization, because often time trials are unrestricted, pick whichever ship you want. The racers had to put in time learning the track on a ship they're maybe not familiar with flying it in. So we will, like you said, we'll see practice will definitely play a part.
Yeah, when it comes down to an experienced grid like this, with all these pilots as seasoned racing pilots, it's just a matter of practice for a track like this. Because these ships, I mean, they could not handle more differently than, say, an M50 or a Razor or a Snub Fighter.
And one thing I'll mention too, even though the 300 series, including the 350, is actually the fastest in a straight line in atmosphere among all the Neno Cup ships, the Gladius has much stronger maneuvering thrusters. So the Gladius, I would say, as long as the racers can stay out of trouble, the Gladius might actually do pretty well compared to the 300s, which are going to need to use their nose more and use their main engines more. So I would not count the Gladius out of this race. I think it's actually a good choice. But Speedweed will be racing the Gladius for all of the races, so we will see. All right, 30 seconds to race start. Good luck, racers, and thank you all the viewers, and thank you everybody for tuning in. We had a lot of fun putting this together and getting this ready for you and seeing all the racers practice, so very excited.
I think we should be about 10 seconds until race start here. I'm going to stay panned out. Here we go. I'm going to stay panned out here for that turn one, because the potential for disaster is real here. Ooh, looks like Fox went a little wide. Fresh with a great line through there. Speed passing Fox, but lagging a little bit behind here.
Almost an overtake there. Hop in the cockpit with Fresh. Nice clean lines coming here through Neno's. Beautiful racing there. Looks like Fresh has pretty commanding lead. We've got we can see Speedweed and Playing Fox neck and neck. Speedweed with the inside, Speedweed passing Playing Fox, but Playing Fox pulling ahead on the straight. It is almost nose to tail there. Speedweed with a dangerous inside pass. Beautiful.
The difference in those MAV authority there really made the difference for Speed on that overtake, which he's maintained now. Oh, Fox goes wide.
Oh, it looks like Fox did not. Speedweed kept it tighter there and stayed in front of Fox. Speedweed slowing down a little bit through drifters here.
Still a commanding lead from Fresh heading into Neno's.
Looks like Speedweed pulling pretty comfortably into second place. Fresh, beautiful drift here. Really just throwing the butt of the 300 around, because you really don't have the MAV authority. You're doing these beautiful sweeping turns.
Nose flying this whole way. If you watch how he's using the rears, the rear mains to just push himself with his nose like a sled.
It looks like we had Fresh with a safe pass on Ricky. It looks like we had a incident with Playing Fox with the DNF.
And it looks like Ricky may have just DNF'd as well.
Yep, and we've got Fresh coming through. See Fresh with maybe a half lap half lap on Speedweed. Fresh coming through. Looks like that was turn and burn. One of the final turns. We are on the final straight with Fresh.
And congratulations, Fresh. Excellent performance.
Over the line.
And Speedweed with the second place. Well done.
Congrats, Speedweed. Congrats, Fresh. And with the traditional Arena Commander explosion after you finish your third lap. All right, looks like we've got results out of there. So checking in on our Group B results. All right, looks like they are getting the results set. It looks like, so we had Fresh 001 taking first, Speedweed in second, Playing Fox in third, and Ricky Ticky in fourth. But because they all completed one lap, they will all be walking away with points. Yeah, congrats, Speed. I think that was an absolutely amazing battle between Speedweed and Playing Fox. One thing I do like about these slightly bigger ships, slightly slower speeds, is you can do some of that neck and neck racing a little better. And the extremely fast, like P-72 or M50, sometimes there's just no time to react. You're going so fast that you just blow into each other.
That, and for the spectators as well, it's just easier to see the battle and how close it actually is.
All right, so it looks like we've got our third heat coming up. And in this group, we are going to have Kolbosa, Jekodin, and Gerbo. So Gerbo the Gnome. All right, our results are in. So you have Fresh first place with 80 points. Speedweed second with 60. Ricky Ticky all right, Playing Fox third with 30 points, and Ricky Ticky fourth with 20 points. So looking at how that's affected the team results, so we'll know after this last heat, but that is another we've got 80 points both, another 80 points for Sanguis Black and Sanguis Red, so they'll be going head-to-head in the final. 60 points for Team XGR, 30 points for Origin Speedsters, and 20 points for Q Prime. So yeah, throwing Gerbo here on stream. Then we've got Jekodin, also with some bounty hunter and online racing. And the online racing on SCR, that is the leaderboard positions from the Star Citizen official leaderboards. And then our third racer, we've got Kolbosa. we'll be waiting for them to get the grid set up. What are you thinking? What are you thinking, Kale? Are we
I don't know. It's so hard to say. Kolbosa, I mean, this is again, it's a tiny grid, but these are all veteran racers. It's anybody's race here for sure. Anybody's race. If I had to pick a winner, I'm gonna go with Kolbosa. To be honest, it looks like he is flying an Arrow. So he's going to have substantial acceleration and maneuverability here. Arrow's still a big ship compared to a Razor or M50, so it's going to carry through those turns more so, but it has the MAVs to bring it out of those turns. So we'll see. I think that Kolbosa might make up. He's a super fast pilot. I think he's going to make up a ton of time on the first turn. And on turn and burn and the last turn, I think that he is going to be, he's going to have an advantage there. It's just my prediction.
All right, 60 seconds
Barring a
to start.
DNF, of course.
Yeah, I think, and seeing that last one, the Speedweed Playing Fox duel, I mean, we could see Speedweed would get ahead in the turns, and then Playing Fox would pull ahead on the streets, and ultimately it was a Speedweed that was just to take those turns so tight.
I think Kolbosa is fast enough where the Arrow's MAV authority is going to give him a huge ability an ability to gain a huge amount of ground on those turns, and a nice top end speed. I use the Arrow to film dogfighting, PvP, PvE, and I know that Arrow gets up to speed very quickly. So let's see if I'm right.
All right, race is about to start. Some racers are often sweating at this part. It's they clear comms. It's 30 seconds, and they're off.
Yep,
All right, Gerbo in front, Jacoda and Kolbosa. Kolbosa
Again,
just shooting
exactly
very tight through drifters. Look at that.
Yeah, MAV authority is just really coming in,
pulling way ahead.
He's so fast. Yeah, he's so fast to begin with.
Kolbosa basically flying it like one of those other faster ships that folks will race a lot here, like the Krugers or M50 or Razor. Yeah, just pulling way ahead. Yeah. But looks like on these straights, looks like Gerbo making up a little bit of ground.
Yep, I expect turn and burn in those final turns, along with the first turn at drifters, to be where Kolbosa is able to make up the most ground here. Yeah, so fast through turn and burn here. So fast.
Looks like we had a DNF out of Jacoden, so it looks like it's just Kolbosa and Gerbo here.
And Gerbo no slouch in that 300 series, making up the distance on the straights.
Yep, about 2 seconds down, which on Snake Pit, these are what 53 second laps, so 2 seconds is pretty darn close. So Kolbosa really needs to keep it tight, can't make any mistakes.
Gerbo right on his tail.
Oh yeah, Gerbo making up ground, coming into the turn we call close contact. Still keeping it really tight through that turn. But Kolbosa really you can see with that MAV authority, can just whip through. Oh, I think, is that
no, Gerbo went wide on turn and burn.
Gerbo went wide, but I don't think that's a DNF. I still see Gerbo flying. I didn't see an explosion.
Kolbosa on the final lap here, coming into turn 1.
So we will see, I guess, if Gerbo... Okay, Gerbo has rejoined the race. So Gerbo's still in it. Kolbosa can finish this lap, and Gerbo as well. That will be a well-earned second place for Gerbo, and a really amazing performance out of Kolbosa. Coming through Neno's alley here.
Yeah, the Arrow was an excellent choice for this track. Yeah, the Gladius has even more MAV authority than the Arrow, but just not the top speed. The Arrow can really get up to 600 or 700 meters a second quickly. I mean, you're not going to get to that speed on these tracks, but
final turn, And that is a finish out of Kobosa.
Nice
Congratulations.
job, Kobosa.
With the
Congrats.
traditional explosion. For folks that are watching who might not be familiar with Arena Commander, oh, and a finish for Gerbo. The game locks your control after the third lap, and so you plow right into the train behind. All right, that was an awesome result here. Let's check in on some of those results. All right, looks like race direction. We've got our results here. So we've got all three of our groups. Looks like we got Kobosa, Gerbo, and Jacoden with the lap 1 DNF. So Jacoden not gonna earn any points for this one. But yeah, Gerbo walking away with 60 points, so added to 250 for the team, and then Kobosa with 80. So actually, I think, let me see. So even though Gerbo got 60 points, Jellyhead with 80, Jellyhead did have potentially the better team score for this part, but we will see the points in the final. So in the final, we are going to have Jellyhead made Fresh 001 and Kobosa. And it's representing 3 different teams. So any one of these teams could take that juicy 70 points. We got here. All right, we're getting ready. We're going to be launching into the final. I don't know. We've got 3 of the fastest racers out here. Kaostar. What do you think we'll see? Actually, we have to talk about their grid position, right? Because it's based on their total score. So I think, honestly, it'll be based on how they scored in that first race. So we have Jellyhead, because it'll be their total score so far, and they all earned 80 points for this race. So I believe, let's see. Yeah, Fresh had 190 points out of the first round. Jellyhead had 160, and Kobosa had 120. So yep, looks like that is our grid.
So I think that my prediction is going to be Kobosa again. I think that he is absolutely fast enough to beat Fresh, and I think the Mav Authority is really just gonna. I mean, if you were able to see, and for people spectating, the way that Kobosa was able to adjust his orientation and trajectory in each turn, you can tell that it's so much easier for him to boost with Mavs, especially verts, and really push himself through the turn without needing to nose fly. I think if Fresh makes even the slightest mistake, that Kobosa will overtake. That's my prediction. Fresh has a big advantage being in the lead here, especially because the ship has a crazy top speed. But like I said, turn 1, turn and burn, and that final turn are really going to be where Kobosa can force that arrow along the racing line, just faster through the turn.
All right, looks like grid is ready. We're here with the final, and something that actually some of the racers may have figured out. The 350R is actually a little bit slower than the 300i. The 300i being about 7/8 of the mass of the 350, and the way the ships are currently balanced, CIG kind of baseline them across the different classes. So any racers that are out there with the 300i will actually have a slight advantage over their compatriots in the 350s. Looks like we're here on the line with Fresh. 30 seconds to go. getting ready for turn 1. For 70 points for their team. Got 3 teams duking it out in this final.
Here we go.
All right, and they're off. Fresh in front. Nice lead. Beautiful drift there through drifters.
Oh no!
Colbosa
Colbosa and Jellyhead came together. So now Fresh
drifters.
just has to survive. That's unfortunate. Colbosa tried to make an inside pass there, and I would imagine that Jelly didn't see him, and they came together and are DNF'd.
All right, race direction is calling for Fresh to finish out 2 laps. Make sure we can get out of here without a DNF.
And Fresh beginning lap 2. Beautiful first lap. Excellent line there through the first turn.
All right, and yeah, just doing these nose in main drifts. Beautiful, coming into close contact. All right, coming into the final stretch. Great performance out of Fresh.
Nice job, Fresh. Congrats, Sanguis Luna.
Final turn, which is no slouch. The nose.
Nice. Well done, Fresh.
All right, congratulations. Alrighty. Looks like that we have our results there for the snake pit. Let's throw these on here. All right. Results for the final. All right, so Sanguis Red coming out of here with the 70 points, and then that will Sanguis Black and Turbor not getting those 70 points. So so we have our final results for the snake pit. It looks like Sanguis Red walking out of here with 150 points, and Sanguis Black and Turbor both with 80 added to their team score. XGR with 60 points, Origin Speedsters with 30, Sire Racing with 20, and then and Boltok with 0, and Kelsar with 0. So congratulations. All
I'll
right.
pull Fresh down here.
All right, let's grab Neno. All right. So
Want to get Fresh too, or just
let's
we'll
start
do them
with Neno.
Okay.
All right, so we have Neno with us. Bring him in here. All right. Welcome, Neno. Great to have
Neno.
you with us.
It's good to be here, guys. This is great. I mean, I've never expected to have a cup bearing my name, so it's like an honor for me, honestly.
Oh, you're very welcome. Some background as well. Neno was with Cloud Imperium, and actually, tell us the story about the snake pit if you don't mind, because we know you were one of the developers that sort of kicked off racing as we know it.
Yeah, sounds good. So I think I started working at Cloud Imperium Games pretty much exactly at the same time that Black Maze was coming from Elite Dangerous to Star Citizen. So he made a bunch of YouTube videos comparing both games online, and then I kept watching his videos because I was doing my ramp up at CIG. His videos were very helpful because I was learning the universe and differences between both games. So I kept watching his videos, I joined his Discord, and then as he pivoted towards racing, well, obviously I was watching his videos, so I also pivoted a little bit more. towards racing. So that's pretty much how it all started. It was just me chilling in the Discord. And then I made a couple of tracks locally on the PC and the servers at CIG, but none of them were really as polished as Snake Pit was when I showed it off to the devs. So like I got refused 2 times to create any racetracks because they were not polished enough, and then I just decided that I was gonna pick one of the racetrack that was made by the community, which was the Snake Pit, because it had all the right turns, the gameplay was tested, you guys were already racing on this racetrack, so you know it was easy for me just to come in, put in some assets and create something that feels a little bit more believable. So that's pretty much how it started. I think making the track took about 2 weeks, and then we just shipped it in whatever patch it was. I don't remember anymore.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great to hear. I know, and it's a good point too that you know, watching those videos and watching folks racing, everybody that was racing the Snake Pit was doing it in just these bare canyons in the persistent universe. So every time they died, they were going back to Port Tressler, or you know, some racers started getting Carracks out there and respawning in their Carracks. And you know, not being an arena commander, the arena commander races had no atmosphere. They were all you know, null gravity. So anybody that wanted these like tight atmospheric racing tracks were just they were just here in the PU. So it felt like it was just a small group of folks that knew about tracks like the Snake Pit and were racing them. So it's so awesome that you know, Neno, you being in the right place at the right time and seeing this and just sort of you know, awesomely taking something that worked, because so many people have now gotten to enjoy the Snake Pit and see it, and can now spend hours banging their heads against it in Arena Commander. So
yeah,
thank you.
honestly, for me, I have to thank the racing community, because I often talk about the situation about racing in Star Citizen to other game devs, and none of them have ever lived anything similar to that, where you actually develop a game hand in hand with the community. So for me, some of my best memories were like playing Diablo 2, Baldur's Gate, World of Warcraft, and I was never a huge fan of Star Citizen. For me, you know, because it was a job, it was also frustrating sometimes to work on Star Citizen. But one thing I can say is that the time I spent playing Star Citizen with the racing community is definitely one of the most memorable and most enjoyable moments I had as a developer and also as a gamer. So I really also need to thank the racing community, because they made my job so much more nicer to wake up in the morning and actually work with the community to develop this. And even though like I left Star Citizen only after 2 years to pursue something else, we had huge hopes for racing, and hopefully somebody else is gonna pick up the torch. But I mean, I worked a lot also for things for the Daymar Rally. Me and Todd Pappy, we actually met the guys from Atmo Esports, and there's a lot of things that were developed for the Daymar Rally, but I don't know what's gonna happen with all of that now. But there's a lot of things for racing that are still doable in Star Citizen, so I really hope somebody's gonna pick the torch up and keep carrying it on.
Awesome. Well, that's a great sentiment. I know there's so many people that enjoy racing. Something I always enjoyed about racing is all you need to be able to do is spawn your ship, get in game, and if there's somebody else, you can see who's faster. So I know Star Citizen can have all kinds of bugs, and I always liked how racing was, you know, pure in a sense that there were, other than dying, there were not a lot of things to get in your way of racing. Before we let you go, Neno, can we talk about Yadar Valley, which is where our racers are going to be going next?
Yeah, for sure. So Yadar Valley is one of my favorite tracks, and it's probably because it's the track that I did the most laps in. It's a track that I developed a lot of tracks that were never shipped, but one of the tracks that was never shipped had a lot of verticality in it, and that's one of the components that I absolutely wanted to add in Yadar Valley. So that's why you have that huge oh my god, sorry man, English is my third language, so I'm just blanking out. But when you need to go towards the sky and then you draw back down, I really wanted to add that verticality. So the track just feels good. I always did it in oh my god, I forgot the ship's name.
Gladius.
Gladius, exactly, yeah. So I always did it in the Gladius, so for me that's my favorite shift to do on Yadar Valley, because I feel like all the turns feel extra tight when you're doing them in the Gladius. And I mean, the scene that was set up is very similar to what we had in the Snake Pit, so it was easy and quick to set up also, but it's also a little bit more distinct. Honestly, it's my favorite track, so I know I'm a little biased because I made it, but I feel like it's one of the tracks that feels the best.
No, I agree there. It's something that's not always apparent from the scale is the canyons in Yadar kind of look similar to the Snake Pit, but they're lower and tighter. So I think even the atmosphere might be a little thinner. So like once you've conquered the Snake Pit, and it feels like it's very roomy and the canyons are big, you head down here into Yadar Valley, and you feel like your wingtips are at the walls, and it is very tight and unforgiving, especially the first couple turns. Well, yeah, I'll say Yadar is also one of my favorite tracks. I think Yadar is a great example, Neno, of you and the devs took everything you learned from the racing community and made an awesome track that was something that really could only be done, or it was made with all these like bespoke assets. Like it's I always get that pod racing vibe.
It's a beautiful location.
Thank you. Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like Yadar and all the other tracks that we got to revisit and revamp. Like on Snake Pit, I was pretty much alone working on it, so I had to do like the placing of the assets, level art, lighting, VFX, testing the track, making sure it was bug free. During the last week, a lot more people came in to help also for Snake Pit, but like 90% of the work was done by me. For all the other racetracks, there was a pretty big team working on them. We were at least 2 level designers, me and Dane, who's now working somewhere else also. And there was a whole army of level artists, lighting artists, VFX artists, also helping to bring the level of the quality to the next level. So these tracks for me is kind of what it should look like in Star Citizen. I think maybe, Snake Pit could use a little bit more polish because it was our proof of concept, but the rest of the tracks we made, I'm extremely proud of what the whole team did, and that wasn't just like my labor, that was a whole team working on them.
Oh, awesome. Well, yeah, shout out to you, shout out to the team. I think, whatever torch gets passed for racing at SE, we have amazing tracks. So thank you so much for joining us, Neno. We're going to let these racers get in here.
We appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys.
All right. 07, thanks a lot.
All right, take care.
Thanks, Neno.
All right. Looks like grid is set. We are ready to go. So this race that we've got our racers on, this is so in the Neno Cup. One of the things we wanted to do was highlight all different types of racing. That's why we started with the ground race. We went to a moon for the Snake Pit. This third race, this is our heavy race. So I know a lot of racers spend a lot of time in those faster ships, but heavy racing, the way I think of it is you need to spend more time in the turns, and you have to have a perfect line coming through a turn to sort of not slow down and not lose speed. So it's deceptively hard to fly these slow ships fast. And so we've got our Heat A group starting in 60 seconds. We've got Jelly, Soap, Boltok, and Kelsar. Again, ordered, same group, but ordered in their cumulative points so far.
And another very experienced grid. I mean, every grid we're going to have in this in the Neno Cup is going to be in a group of experienced pilots, as we've seen so far. So it's just going to come down to practice. Every one of these pilots has flown Yadar 1 million times, and I think that it's just going to be practice, and who knows how to manipulate these ships. VTOL cycling is probably going to come into it as well, especially if they're using boosted verts to push themselves to the turn. We're off. Here we go.
All right. We are off. This is a very tight, very difficult first turn. We're hoping the racers are going to take it easy. Jellyhead in first. Soap 1 going a little wide. Boltok going maybe for an overtake. Taking it easy on the inside. Jellyhead in front. Just in front of Boltok here. Just put a Boltok. Boltok maybe coming to the inside. It looks like Boltok cuts inside of Jellyhead. Boltok ahead. They are neck and neck. Is that, yeah, Jellyhead a bit ahead of Boltok. Jellyhead
Boltok
taking
really tight inside line. Jellyhead and
DNF.
Soup came together. So Boltok in first with nothing but clean air in front of him.
Looks like and Kelsar behind. Boltok coming through here. Beautiful turn through heaven, that turn, and then coming through here through the chicanes. You can see orienting, so just mains are pushing through, turning way in advance to sort of not hit that rock wall. And this beautiful drift, losing basically no speed, no time. And we see Kelsar coming down from heaven, and Boltok about to finish up this lap 1. So I know Boltok putting in a lot of time practicing this track. I'm sure, and it just really shows with that smoothness. And these can be tricky turns, even if you practice them. Many times I've taken this a little too wide and clipped something. The cutter in particular, if you have it rolled, it's really easy to clip a VTOL. But yeah, taking it through. Notably, even though the Prospector was allowed, all the racers we saw here so far are racing the cutter. For many reasons, it's faster, it's a little cheaper in Arena Commander, but it is not as hardy. So I know the Prospector can sometimes take a hit or two.
And again, these tracks are deceptively large. You see how tiny that cutter looks on the track compared to the assets and the width of those channels. But just like Snake Pit, there's a lot of room here, even though it just doesn't seem like it because these ships are bigger, but even these bigger ships are still small compared to the assets and the lanes in which they fly.
Yeah, it feels really, if we hop in here in the cockpit with Boltok, it feels like you're inches from everything, and sometimes you are. I know a lot of racers, they use the entire track whenever they can. But yeah, just seeing the scale of it. All right, Kelsar DNF, so it is just Boltok and Clean Air. And Boltok finishing up on lap 3, finishing lap 2. And it has been called for Boltok. All right, congratulations, everybody.
Congrats, Boltok. Well done.
Some tight racing. All right, that was definitely that was rough. I know Soap and Jelly, Soap and Jacoda Soap and Jelly, very similar pace. They were just close to each other, and that's a difficult turn that they collided on. All right, and so we've got the results here. So Boltok taking home 80 points out of this, and then qualifying for the final. So Boltok will have another potentially 70 points up there for Team Washed Up. Boltok notably racing solo, so with less room for error, because Boltok needs to get as many points as possible. Same with Kelsar, also racing solo. But Kelsar walking out of here with 60 points. And then Soap and Jelly not finishing lap 1, so coming out of here with 0 points. But yeah, that was an incredible race. Just very smooth out of Boltok. And some beautiful passes.
I did not see any use of VTOL, so that may not have been practical for the meta. I haven't personally flown a cutter in quite a while.
I know a lot of racers out there sort of flying them kind of like almost like slower 350s that we saw in the Snake Pit. You're just pointing the nose into turns, kind of drifting through and using the main engines. I know one thing from having practiced as well, that the cutter can be slow to roll. So in the time it takes to roll and kick into VTOL, that you have to time the VTOL very specifically, because say if you are at the spot you need to accelerate forward and you're still in VTOL, you have almost no acceleration. So it's a difficult timing thing, and it's probably faster to, especially in this low atmo, to just yaw a little bit and use your mains than try to roll and push yourself with VTOL.
Yeah.
Also, something I wanted to mention that Gerbo mentioned in chat a bit ago when we were finishing up the snake pit. Gerbo says the 350 has better arrow than the 300. So even though the 300 is lighter, Gerbo's saying that the 350 is faster. So yeah, definitely something. It's very interesting. The ships are close to each other, especially if the arrow is tuned a little differently. That can make a difference. Even if the 300, for example, has better acceleration, the 350 with better arrows may be able to get those higher speeds. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. All right, looks like we should be getting ready for. Should be launching in with our next heat group, Group B, and that will be Fresh 001, Playing Fox, Speedweed, and Ricky Ticky. Let's see here. Yep, Fresh, Playing Fox, Speedweed, and Ricky Ticky. And then if we're going by their scores, that should be... We've got Fresh with 340 points, having pulled down 190 in Bloodshot and 150 in the Snake Pit, so that will be Fresh in front. And then Playing Fox with 180 points, second in the grid, Speedweed third in the grid with 160, and Ricky Ticky also with 160. So it looks like they are tied, but Speedweed having placed better in the Snake Pit, so being ahead in the grid. So it looks like getting the grid set up here. Looks like we're very likely all cutters.
No, Speedweed is
No?
in an Avenger.
Speedweed is in an Avenger. Okay, that might be... All right, yeah, we'll send a message to Race Direction. All right, cool, but yeah, so 3 cutters and 1 cutter in a trench coat. But yeah, this, I know Fresh and Fox both being very smooth on Snake Pit. I know Ricky said in chat had an issue on lap 1 of Snake Pit, so it was kind of limping along. So we'll see if Ricky can keep it clean. All right, so yeah, I think, yeah, I'm excited to see how this heat's gonna go. All right. Okay, Speedweed opting for a DNF. So it looks like we'll have Fresh, Fox, and Ricky Ticky. Fresh, both Fresh and Fox with great times on Snake Pit and a great performance. So we'll see who's going to go head to head with Bull Talk. Jumping in here in Fresh's cockpit. So we're getting ready for the heat to start. And then Fresh with head tracking too. I know, especially in some of these slower ships, when you are, kicking the nose around and using your mains, the head tracking can be super helpful. Especially, some folks have track IR, some folks have Toby. It's definitely not required. Don't think that you need head tracking to race, but especially in these tight conditions. Sometimes it's really helpful to be looking where you want to go, even if the nose of your ship is pointed in another direction, or being able to see folks out of your peripheral vision. All right, we got the call out for getting ready to start. All right, throwing out there, 30 seconds. Stay tuned stay tuned to the end of the stream. We do have an audience giveaway of a Misk Razor LX. So I'm throwing that out there. So for folks that are active in chat at the end, when we do that giveaway, there's one of those there for you. All right, getting ready to start. And they're off. All right, fresh with the. Let's see. Fresh with a nice drift in there. Fox with a similar drift. They're almost twinsies there. Both keeping it nice and clean through drifters. And surviving, going on to that next turn. Fresh coming through with Fox behind. Fox still keeping decent pace. Fresh. Oh! Camera down. So Fresh coming through. Oh, is it Fresh Air? Is that Fresh Air? Forget the turn names. Yeah, it's decent separation between Fox and Fresh. And up through Heaven. Fresh down. That beautiful Levo Racers are rolling on their side, using their mains to push and Verts. Sort of it looks like a very similar line from both Fresh and Boltok that we saw. Coming through there.
Fox not far behind.
Nope. Fox is close.
Oh.
I'll say that split decision. Then we're coming in here through the final turn, the Reckoning. Because if it is a very, very narrow gate, and it's very easy to wreck on that one. All right, Fresh over the line. Coming into Drifter's hideout. See it from the cockpit. Hey, look at that. So Fresh looking where the ship is going, not necessarily where the nose is, and just helping to keep an eye on that TVI, that indicator you see there in the middle of the two chevrons. Keeping it nice and smooth. Something I know I've done on that turn many times. You saw Fresh was a little towards the upper limit. It's very easy to take these drifts, miss your altitude, and clip the top of one of these cranes. So very smooth, beautiful performance out of Fresh. And yeah, playing Fox about a turn behind. So Fresh can only make... Fresh is gonna have to... Can maybe make a mistake, but has to keep it pretty clean. Fox, you can see inches from the wall there. Then heading up to Heaven. And then down into the final chicane. Very graceful performance out of the racers. You can definitely tell practice has been in here. Again, not easy to keep these things moving, keep it smooth, and keep it at the highest speeds. Because you need to be moving your nose to use your mains to turn, but then you're going to get the highest speeds on the straight by getting that TVI, that vector crosshair, right in the nose. All right.
Oh, camera down.
Camera down. This is a tight track for cameras. Okay, Fox coming into Drifter's hideout. Just as Fresh is doing the exit. We're doing a ride along here with Fox. Very, very smooth through there. And then with the roll come through. Oh, looks like we had Ricky Tiki DNF doing a pirouette there. And we're back. Ricky Tiki stuck. All right, and then Fresh coming through Fresh Air. And up to Heaven. Down to the final chicane. Fox again, not far behind on this third lap.
Yeah, good job to Fox for really not giving up too much distance. Playing Fox was my that's a first place finish for Fresh. Congratulations. Playing Fox was really my first exposure with Billboy in his battle
across the line. Beautiful.
2 time trials.
We got Fox, final turn, and then there it is over the line.
Congrats, Fresh.
Congrats. Let's look at these results. So, Sanguis Red, another 80 points. 60 points then for Origin Speedsters. And then that will be... Let's check it in on our Group B. Yeah, and then 30 points for Team Sire Racing. So heading into the final here, we will have Fresh, Boltok, and then the winner of Heat C. All right, we're getting Heat C ready. All right, the definitely an exciting one. Right now, we will take a short couple-minute break, and we will be back here with Heat C. back. Thank you for a short break. We're getting ready for Heat C. close. And we've got Jacoden, Kolbosa, and Gerbo. And then grid-wise, again, going by the total points so far. Looks like, yeah, we've got Gerbo. All right, so we've got Gerbo in front. Total points.
So it's going to be Gerbo, Jacoden, and Kolbosa.
Yep.
I thought that we would have Boltok in this one. Is this our final?
No, this is Heat C. Heat C.
Oh, okay.
Gerbo with 310, Jacoden with 220, or Kolbosa with 200. So yep, Gerbo in front. Here on the line in our second place with Jacoden, for second grid position. Gerbo has put in a very solid performance. I know Gerbo is well known for ground racing, but a lot of racers have a lot of skills across all different types of racing. So it's really great to see everybody kind of flexing. And again, this is all about practice, so folks that have put the time in get cutter. See how they do. We'll see who goes head to head.
Here we go.
We're off. With the roll.
Jacoden boosting hard, looks like, coming into turn 1.
Yep, and with the VTOL, I think that's some of the first VTOL
Oh, Jacoden way
very
too
wide
there. Way too wide. He paid for that straightaway speed. Kolbosa gets a nice first place lead after the first turn there.
Yep, and Jacoden sort of trying to fight back. It looks like we have Gerbo almost overtaking there. We got Gerbo and Jacoden very close together. With Kolbosa in the lead. Very tight grouping with all three racers, and we've made it through probably the most challenging part of the lap 1. Nice separation coming up to heaven. See Jacoden fairly, 300 meters behind Kolbosa? Pretty
Looks
close.
Like it, yeah, very close.
Oh, making up some ground on heaven. We'll see who takes it tighter. Looks like Jacoden not using VTOL, but Kolbosa did. Kolbosa is sort of staying ahead. They are very close together through the chicanes. It looks like Kolbosa is Kolbosa rolled? Oh no, Kolbosa is more or less flat. Yeah, coming into the reckoning. Final turn here.
So what a tight group. This is the closest race we've had so far. Jacoden and Gerbo are rubbing shoulders practically here.
All right, and there we are. Jacoden.
Kolbosa with a really smooth line there through.
So they are almost touching. Kolbosa going high. Jacoden taking this tight, almost nose to the apex of the turn. They're very close together.
So it's Kolbosa in green, Jacoden in the white and blue, and Gerbo in the red and white. Jacoden with the overtake.
That was a gorgeous overtake.
Very fast.
And yeah,
And Gerbo with the overtake. Oh, almost. Never mind. Kolbosa holds him off.
Oh, just that is nose to tail there. Both getting the
Wow,
dive.
what a race.
Whoo! Gerbo with the overtake.
What
There
a
it
race
is.
here with the change in position.
Looks like Gerbo. Is that
And
Gerbo in the lead?
Gerbo is now in first.
Gerbo with the overtake in the chicane.
And Jacqueline he overtook Kobosa again.
Some of
Wow,
the
these guys are right on top of each other. This is unbelievable.
closest racing we've seen today. This is fantastic. Coming into the start finish. Oh, Jacqueline with the
rubbing
Gerbo
shoulders, rubbing shoulders.
just ahead at the reckoning. Coming into the start
Again,
finish. Gerbo
Gerbo
in
the
front.
red, Jacqueline in white and blue, and Kobosa in the green. Oh
Yep.
no! Did they touch? They didn't. This is crazy. Okay, it was over. That's why they get crazy. Okay.
Okay. Right, that was the takeover. That was some great racing. All right, looks like. Sorry, big confusion there. Yeah, Gerbo in the lead. I think, yeah, just. Yeah, I think just Gerbo remaining after that collision. I think coming through. Into the final turn.
Well done,
Through the
Gerbo. That was an
reckoning.
excellent race. That's the best one today so far. That was a pleasure to watch.
All right, there it is. All right, again, beautiful performance out of Gerbo. Sorry, got a little excited and there.
Yeah, we thought that was over. Thought it was over early.
Yeah, miscommunication there, but yeah, that was fantastic. That's some of the closest racing we've had all day. That was great. And a great smooth performance out of Gerbo. I think we saw the lead go back and forth.
Yeah, congrats.
Times there.
Yeah, I think within the second lap we had something like 5 position changes there amongst them.
And then final results here. Or I guess those might. Let's see, what's on stream might not be accurate, but yeah, we know it was Gerbo that made it through. Okay, we'll wait for those final results to get in on the sheet, and then we will see. Let's see, yep, Gerbo in first with 80, Kobosa in second with 60, Jakoda in third with 30. So that's 80 points there for 80 points there for Sanguis Black, bringing them up to 390 after all 3 Yadar heats, and Sanguis Red 420 after all 3 Yadar heats. So we can do, let's see, we'll do an update on the scores, I think, after this final. But yeah, coming into this final, we've got Sanguis Red with 450, Sanguis Black with 410, and then third place currently is Turbor with 260. So yeah, just yeah, incredible racing here on Yadar. Again, I'm biased. I love heavy racing just because it might not be the most fun thing to run, solo or for a time trial, but I've seen some of the best position changes, some of the best close racing, some of the best overtakes in some of the sort of heavier feeling and especially smaller ships.
Absolutely.
So let's see, heading into the final, we're gonna have I believe we will have Gerbo, Fresh, and Boltok. Okay, we're doing a 2-minute hold.
be a perfect time to run the Divisions trailer if we haven't shown the stream that yet.
Oh yeah, I think. Don't think I have it handy, but yeah, that would be fantastic. All right, let's see what I got. All right, welcome back everybody. Just had a short hold. Race Direction is getting ready for the final here and has sorted some things out. And we were, let's see, and I think judging by the points so far, we're going to see what the grid is going into this final. Yep, it will be Fresh, then Gerbo, then Boltok. So Fresh in front. Just waiting for everybody to get in here, and we will get started with the heavy race Neno Cup 2954 final. We are past the halfway point today. We're going to race at Lorville, and then we're going to finish up with a 15-minute all-together endurance race at Miner's Paradise. And we'll show a fly-through for Miner's Paradise when we get there. But yeah, we have these are the three smoothest racers we've seen so far in these heavy ships all together. I know they've been doing a great job of keeping at not touching and keeping away from each other. I'm really looking forward to seeing a clean trip through Drifter's Hideout. It's 3 of the cutters, good speed management from all 3 racers. And I think. Okay, so Boltok and Gerbo in the same beautiful red and white skin, and then Fresh in the, Fresh in that green two-tone skin. Yeah, this is going to be an exciting one. So. Points-wise, I guess that puts. See, going into this final. Oh, we got Fresh with 420 points, Gerbo with 390, and Boltok with 250. So we have, with 70 points on the line, Sanguis Black could overtake Sanguis Red with those 70 points. Then I think 40 going to the third. Or to second place. Grid is all set. 60 seconds, ready to go. Set race direction. On the line with Fresh here. What are you thinking, Kalistar?
Anyone's race. All three of these pilots are monsters. They all know how to fly this track in this ship. So this is anybody's race as far as I'm concerned for predictions.
All right, good luck, racers. It's going to be a good one. Yeah, we've very experienced racers. I know they've spent a lot of time. These racers have all spent a lot of time on the starting line, sweating. I think even the most experienced racers can get a little nervous, especially here. I know we've got a final, got a bunch on the, got points on the line. Ready for that start. Good luck, everybody.
Here we go.
And they're off. Going to turn one. Fresh, pretty sizable lead. Boltok maybe going for an overtake. Yep, Boltok overtaking Gerbo fairly safely, but they are close. Gerbo on the inside. Boltok keeping it safe. Oh, Boltok keeping nose to the inside of Drifters with a beautiful overtake there of Gerbo. We'll see if
well done right there. That was beautiful.
Fresh in some fresh clean air in front of Boltok, but Boltok no slouch coming up behind.
Oh, Gerbo way wide coming out of there.
Way wide, but saved it. He went above the canyon walls a bit, but kept it clean. Fresh coming through fresh air. Boltok coming through. Gerbo, very similar pace to Boltok. We'll see as they come up towards heaven. It's that beautiful, like, yaw 45 type turn going into the chicanes. Yeah. Boltok then close behind. Like Boltok just entering the chicanes. Fresh on the exit. You know, Boltok, I think, making up a little bit of ground here, but Fresh still about a turn ahead. Gerbo's still a bit behind Boltok. Yep, and then there's Fresh. This is Fresh just going over the line. Beautiful job, Fresh. That fast lap. Boltok, so Boltok 4 seconds behind Fresh. I think that 4 seconds is a tough gap to make up, but it is. We do have 2 more laps. This is the start of lap 2. Looks like, I think Gerbo, yep, Gerbo taking it easy coming into Drifters. I think with that first lap complete, there's no longer a risk of 0 points. So we're just trying to jockey for position here. Boltok coming through, passing Neno's Rock on the way to fresh air. And Fresh coming up here. We see Fresh going and making a way up to heaven. Jumping in the cockpit. Yeah, Fresh still with that lead ahead of Boltok. And just a beautiful, beautiful trip through the chicanes here. Let's go. Luigi in chat says LFG. Yes, let's go. This is, let's see, Boltok a little bit behind Fresh. I think that's probably still
Gerbo may have
gap.
DNF'd. Oh. Did he DNF?
Gerbo
Marker's not moving for me.
Gerbo might be stuck potentially. You know, risk with the heavy ship. Sometimes you can get stuck without blowing up. Okay, Fresh. No, 5 seconds. Above Boltok. Boltok can maybe make it up, keeping nose to the inside of the apex there. Following Boltok through here. Shout out to the camera team for beautiful, beautiful camera work following the racers in the track. Nice job keeping it safe. Let's see, I think we have... Yep, Boltok coming through fresh air. Still about that 5-second gap to Fresh. Coming through here. It's just, every time I see this turn, it never gets old. Just the racers, they've all kind of figured out that same line, kind of perfected it. It's so smooth to watch. Definitely recommend, if anybody out there has cutters or rent one Arena Commander, definitely give this track and Yadar a try. in a cutter. You'll see these 3 racers are all making it look so easy, but it is a challenge.
It's also a blast in a Cutlass Black.
Yes, a lot of fun in a Cutlass. All right, there we go. Is that Fresh across the line? Boltalk across
Congratulations,
the
Fresh.
line.
Well done.
Congratulations, Boltalk. Looks like I think Gerbo got unstuck? Oh, Gerbo is limping. Okay. I think Gerbo is missing a VTOL. So Gerbo is showing it is not easy to take a cutter through here when you're missing a VTOL. Yeah, using that strategy, you can see, shout out to the Olympics here. So when you're missing one VTOL, one of the tricks is you put it in VTOL mode, so that way when you thrust forward, you're not getting asymmetrical thrust from your missing engine. So Gerbo knowing what's up. But then you have to be very careful when you roll.
A little bump there on the rock, just a little. Oh, I am injured.
having tried this myself, Gerbo is rocking it. This is not easy. But yeah, it's if you can imagine, if you have the right engine and not the left, you can turn left, but it's really hard to turn right because of that asymmetrical thrust. So this is great performance out of Gerbo here. It can be a downside to some of these ships that have VTOLs or have engines you can knock off, something like Gladius or whatever. You're not going to lose an engine, you're just going to blow the whole thing up. But always a risk when you're taking ships that only have one engine. I know a couple years ago in Scarlet Apex, it was my team, Mad Cat and I, we lost one of the Cutlass VTOLs, and it is really hard to race in 0G with only one Cutlass engine. So shout out there. Oh, we timed out. Okay, I'm saying we've made it to the timeout. Oh, I guess because it's a couple minutes after we hit the couple minute timeout after somebody finished. All right, the race is over. All right, congrats everybody.
Yeah, well done.
Well done. That was. All right, we are going to take all right, racers taking a 5-minute break, and Lorville will be next up. All right, let's check in with our scores. All right, so Fresh took out the 70 points, Boltalk with 40, Gerbo with 20. So if we check our solo results, that puts Gerbo to 410, Fresh is still at 490, and Boltalk at 290. So looking at how that impacted the team scores, I will give a full update on team scoring. Gonna do a little formula math. Let's see. Yeah, if you can get the cycles. All right. So we have Sanguis Red in the lead with 520 points after 3 races. Sanguis Black in second place with 430 points. Team Washed Up, which is Boltalk, third place with 290. Turbor, which is Fetacol, or Turbor, which is Colbosa, sorry, with 260. Origin Speedsters with 240 points. Psy Racing with 190, Q Prime with 170, and Team XGR with 160. So we are with, so today we've got another 400 points on the line for first place. So that's 150 for best for winning the heat and the main in Lorville, and then 250 on the line for winning that final 15-minute endurance race. So we have, let's see, I mean, technically all of the teams are within striking place of first place, so we will see how things shake up after Lorville. All right. So, Lorville, if you're familiar, if you've raced Star Citizen in the PU, or if you've done an Arena Commander, the Lorville outskirts is the first track that you will encounter in the mission chain in the universe. So, if you want to get started racing, you'll get that's the only mission that's going to show up in racing, and it's going to send you here to the start of the Lorville outskirts. This is, of all of the tracks that are in the PU in-game, Lorville outskirts is arguably one of the more straightforward to race safely and race as a beginner. You can see a lot of these checkpoints are sort of like cranes and things you go around. There are a couple of tricky sections. But you're not as worried about, say, as like slamming into canyon walls all the time like you are on Yadar or Snake Pit. Still a challenging track, especially if you're racing it in something that has very high speeds, like we do in 323, like something like the M50. Can be really fast and tough to control in 323. Same with the Razor. Yeah, Herbie says in chat, outskirts is a fun one. It definitely is. And yeah, Gerbo says it can be tough with the aero profiles right now. Yeah, it's the 300 series is a challenge on this track. It can get up to speed on the straights, but you have to be going fast to get enough lift to turn because it doesn't have the maneuvering strength. So if you remember seeing the 300s going around the Snake Pit, you saw the racers were mostly kind of yawing into turns and using their mains to keep them on track. At Lorville, you're going to see a lot of rolling. And the racers trying to be as fast speeds because they will get probably something upward of, I think, 20 Gs from lift if they have a high enough speed when they're turning, something in that region, whereas they might only have 4 Gs of up thrust if they were just trying to use their maneuvering thrusters. And of course, pointing your nose into the turn, you can get more speed. But yeah, it's very different flight style here with 300s compared to Snake Pit. Whereas the Arrow and the Gladius, I think their top speeds are a little slower on this track. I know I clocked them myself testing these. I clocked them at about 8 seconds slower per lap. But they do get a lot of lift through turns, and they do have the map strength for sort of maneuverability and dodging. All right, looks like racers are back from the break. They're setting the lobby up. And we will get ready with our Heat A group. So let's see, for Planetary A, put up on stream. So okay, we'll have Jelly, then Soap, then Bulltalk, then Kelsar. All right, so I know I jabbered a bunch. Kale, what do you think we're going to see coming out of here? The first planetary race. So we got thick atmo for the first time today.
I think it's going to be really anybody's gig. Again, practice. I don't think that anybody's going to be able to walk into this with a 300 series and just exert their will. I think it's going to be either, yeah, I mean, the new Aero model, I haven't touched a 300 series in 323, so I don't even know what it's going to feel like, to be honest. I imagine it'll be a challenge.
Yeah, I think traditionally, funnily enough, the Speedweed usually organizes an anniversary race at XGR, I think, for the last couple years, and traditionally it has been 300 series. I think we had a 300 series race 2951, 2952. And so sort of in roughly November every year, folks get together at XGR and we'll throw, I don't know, 20 to 30 300 series at this track. It can be a wild time. I know it can be challenging for performance, but that's something I really do love about PU racing and the verse. You can have more people out there than we can at Arena Commander. You can have a crowded track. It can be a lot of fun. So I know.
Yeah. I will say I don't think that I think that Kelsar is going to have a really hard time in that Gladius because of the distances between the turns and the straightaways that are available for the 300 to make up so much top speed, which the Gladius is going to lack at Lorville. So I think we should see Kelsar. If there's no DNFs, I think Kelsar is really going to struggle here.
I think at the same time though, I'll mention with the Gladius. It is much more forgiving than 300 series. 300 series, at least in my experience, you have to go fast to get that aerodynamic lift to turn. So if you slow down for some reason, if you dodge, if you're offline, you can end up just smashing into something really quick, really easily. Whereas in the Gladius, you have that sort of maneuvering power strength to to dodge or to sort of recover from mistakes. So while I think Kelsar might have slower aerodynamic speeds, could have an advantage in survivability, dodging, and essentially the racecraft side.
Oh, definitely.
All right, grid is ready. I think we're about to get. Okay, our grid order: Boltok, then Jelly, then Kelsar, then Soap. Based on current scores so far. All right, I think we are probably close to getting that 60-second countdown. I'm excited to see how Lorville's going to shake out. All right, we got the 60-second call out. Something also to mention is that I think, was it 323, 322? One of the most recent, I think 322, Lorville was added to Arena Commander. So previously it was only in the PU. So for the last couple of patches, folks have been able to race it in AC. And was it 2 months ago? We had a Lorville Outskirts M50 race that we also ran in Arena Commander, partly due to PU desync issues. That was a lot of fun. We saw great racing out of there, out of the M50s. So we have bigger ships, heavier ships, slightly slower, but probably maybe a little less challenging, but still difficult. And good luck to the racers. It's always nerve-wracking hitting a track for the first time in a day, getting your first heat out. So props to everybody that gets out here and deals with the nerves. All right, they're off. Boltok in front. And let's see. Is that Jelly and Soap very close to each other? Kelsar behind.
Oh, Boltok went way wide after what would be the drop.
Oh, Boltok is still in it, but yeah, coming very wide. So Boltok catching up. I think still in the race. So let's see. We've got Jelly then. Jelly in the lead. Coming that straightaway. Name's escaping me. Yeah, coming around through the turn. Soap close behind, so only a second or two separating them. Then Boltok in third, and then Kelsar in fourth. All right, Jelly on the final straight, coming back up to the start finish, and on the way to lap 2. So let's see what the gap is. 107 out of Jelly. 2 seconds for Soap, and then we'll see what that gap is. It's probably another 2 seconds to Boltok. Yep, 3 seconds back to Boltok. So very close together, everybody. Let's see if we can get on board with Boltok. Coming through. That's right. This is the Skyway. And then we're coming up through brake check. Looks like Jellyhead and Soap 1 just making it around brake check. Boltok with a nice
Jelly with a
clean
commanding
line.
lead here.
That was a nice 180 out of Boltok. And Soap, yeah, Soap not far behind Jelly. It's spinning distance. I want to say that is just missed that crane. That's one of the challenges of this track. All those obstacles. All right, Jelly, 59. Soap coming up. And Boltok. Boltok keeping ground on Soap. Boltok might be able to get that second place. Very close there. Was that a DNF out of Jelly? That was a DNF out of Jelly.
Yeah.
Coming through the drop there. So Boltok in spitting distance of Soap. Boltok chasing Soap down into the Skyway. Was that?
Yeah.
Boltok is right there, right on Soap. Coming into brake check. I know Boltok takes this very tight, sort of nose drift. See if we can get an overtake. Nope, still behind. There's 100 meters away.
So close.
They are neck and neck. Coming into the final straight. Boltok in the red, Soap in the white. Final straight here. Coming into the final turn. Looks like Soap is ahead by a hair.
Wow,
Boltok with the overtake.
Beautiful.
All right, Boltok.
Absolutely beautiful finish.
That was fantastic. Good racing, Soap. Good racing, Boltok with the traditional.
That was
explosion.
fantastic. Wow, what a finish.
All right, and we got Kelsar coming in. All right, to the Skyway. Looks like Race Direction called it. Kelsar with the third place. Oh, Kelsar's still running. All right. All right, Kelsar.
That was a mistake.
All right, Kelsar finishing this lap out. Beautiful, beautiful racing out of everybody. That's one of the closest finishes I think I've ever seen. Goodness. And looks like Kelsar across the line. Beautiful. Great racing, everybody. Holy moly. That was incredible. Good racing, everybody. Let's get those results up. All right, so Team Washed Up taking the victory and heading on to the final. The fastest lap of, let's see, 101 with 103 for Soap 1 and a 59 out of Jelly. There was definitely that was a rough DNF that Jelly had going into the drop. But it happens, and you know, anything can happen in these races. I know sometimes it looks like someone is ahead, and you keep racing your heart out, and you know, something will happen potentially, and you just gotta take the advantage. So great fight to first from Boltok there, and great battling from Soap and Jelly and Kelsar. So let's see our Group B. So our Group B is going to be coming up here.
As predicted, though, those 300 series really pulled away from that Gladius.
They ripped, and yeah, I think the Gladius, but a little slower, but also stable. One thing also to mention is that folks that were selecting their ships for the Neno Cup, their manufacturer, it was also taking into account day 2 is entirely going to be in atmosphere at Providence Park. So I know a lot of these racers were optimizing for stuff where they could still likely earn points in the moon tracks and in 0G as well, but also probably making sure that they were able to keep up those high atmos speeds for Providence Park. But at the same time, Providence Park is a tricky track. There's a lot of turns, and I could see having an Arrow or a Gladius with the extra maneuvering power would not be a bad idea, especially if you're trying to dodge people in the tunnels. There's definitely pros and cons for the different choices.
AFK Steve, 2 minutes.
All right, and our B heat, Fresh, Playing Fox, Speedweed, and Ricky Ticky. I believe based on points that is going to be the grid order. Okay, Fresh, Playing, Ricky, and Speed is going to be our grid order. as we come into Lorville for our Heat B. Yeah, I guess thanks for watching, everybody. I guess I know I'm enjoying it. I don't know. Let me know in the chat, what do you think of the racing so far? I think this has been pretty solid. I'm pretty excited about this. And I know we've got these last couple Lorville heats, and then we will be on to the Endurance 0G finale. And then keep in mind, as we approach that 0G finale, I think either just before or just after, we will be doing that audience giveaway of the Razor LX. So stay tuned for that one. Yeah. Just looking at the scores so far. See, I don't know, another thing, I love the team format that we have here. Just talk about racing in general. Some of my favorite races have been team races. The Daymar Rally that Atmo Esports runs, the Crux Cup that Anzi Racing runs. I love team racing, and I know a lot of the racing in ships is often individual because it's one of the easiest to run. Team stuff gets complicated, especially if you want to start giving prizes out. So I'm hoping the team members and the racers out there are enjoying being part of a team, having a little bit of backup. If you don't do as well in a heat, you have a teammate that can balance. Splitting skills, having like maybe a really fast ground racer and a really fast ship racer. So hoping they're enjoying it. It's fun to see how they do.
Steve, your mic is very, very quiet all of a
very...
sudden.
Oh,
yeah, really quiet all of a sudden.
All right, how about now?
Same, no change.
All right, how about now? Any better?
Same.
All right. Yeah, it sounds fine on stream. Okay, thanks, y'all.
Okay. I can't hear you. Hold on. I can't hear you.
Okay, might be on your end. But all right. What we got going on here? So, checking in on the team scores. So that does put Washed Up is then up to 370 points. And then we've got Origin Speedsters have now jumped up to 300. And Sanguis Black getting another 20 points and then jumping up to 450. So yeah, we've got points on the line here at Lorville, and then another up to 250 coming out of that final endurance race. I know, KSR, just for a all right, grid is set.
Say again, Steve.
I was gonna say, it's like we're gonna have 0G racing after this, and I know that's a completely different skill set. But yeah, let's finish out this ammo racing. Kale, your feed is.
Okay. Thing.
All right, that's fine. I'll keep an eye on it. All right, here we are. Getting close to the start. Fresh, Playing Fox, Tiki Tiki, and Speedweed. And they are off. All right, Fresh in front, playing behind. Speedweed in third, Ricky Ticky. It's like Fresh. Okay, looks like that was a black flag. We're gonna, or that was a misstart. We're gonna restart that race. And we'll get that set up again. All right, yeah, we had a bad grid position at start. We're resetting that up again. All right, Herbie in chat asked if the pilots can switch in the fly and the banded defender. Maybe that would make for a fun team race. I think they can't switch on the fly currently, but that would be really an interesting format for like endurance racing. I know for so ANZ Racing, find them at anzracing.com. One of the races they run every year is the 1 hour endurance race. Many years running, it's been a 1 hour endurance race called the Crux Cup. And racing for an hour can be tiring. I would not mind switching off with somebody else at the cockpit. I think that would be fun. Or any of the other ships that have like dual pilot setups. Alright, excited to see how this is going to go. We saw a really explosive start out of Fresh and Fox there that we just had. Alright, getting ready here. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think it just says, yeah, it could just be packet loss, could be, yeah, it could be, I don't know, CPU thing, yeah. It could be browser priority. But yeah. Yeah. Alright, 60 seconds to restart. And they're off. Turn one. Fresh and Fox coming in here to the drop. Fresh,
And
beautiful.
a DNF here. Looks like Ricky Tiki DNF'd.
Ricky Tiki DNF. All right. Playing Fox through the drop clean. Speedweed through the drop clean. All right. Looks like we got Fresh coming through the Skyway. Nice here. Through brake check. Beautiful. Throwing that butt around. That was a nice smooth drift out of Fresh. Avoiding lots of crazy little cranes here. And coming through ready for that final stretch. All right, coming through and then finishing up this first lap. It's fresh. And heading into turn 1. It looks like we did DNF out of Speedweed. All right, and Chaos Star, your feed is good now. You are solid.
Okay.
This must have been packet loss. All right, Playing Fox coming through into the drop. A couple seconds back from Fresh. Looks like Fresh is just entering the Skyway. And that is a great drift from Fresh. With that 180 turn, instead of like trying to do a wide turn with lift and arrow, just throwing the butt around and using the mains. Beautiful turn there. Keeping that TVI right on target through that final straight. Yeah, we can see that's Fresh there, coming up through the final turn. Beautiful Lorville sunset. And across the line. Onto lap 3. Through the chicanes there. Down through the drop. And up to the Skyway. Very clean lines here. You can see a lot of Atmo racing skill here out of Fresh, and Fresh has put down a lot of time trials, done a lot of races. You can see that that TVI in the center of the screen is right on the nose. You're getting the best speed and the least Atmo resistance. It looks like massive gap to Playing Fox, just entering the Skyway. Yeah, we see Fresh, I think, with the probably commanding finish to lap 3. I don't want to call it. Anything can happen on the final turn, but very, very smooth performance out of Fresh.
Nice shot, Fresh.
And the barrel roll over the line. Nice job. Alright, then we've got Playing Fox here on the final straight, final turn. And there it is. Playing Fox at the finish. Second. Good racing, everybody. Very clean performance out of
Nice
Fresh
job.
and Fox. Good racing. Good racing, everybody. All right, we're getting ready for that final. All right, race direction says the sheet is updated. Let's check in on our scores. So coming into the Lorville final. Or sorry, coming into Group C. Got Fresh with 80, and then Fox with 60 coming through there. So again, that is so far team-wise. It's another 80 points for Sanguis Red. And then another 60 points for Origin Speedsters. So Origin Speedsters with a solid 300 points. Sanguis Red with 600. Sanguis Black with 450. All right, after we get this final race, I will post we'll post a sorted score update over in Discord, and if I can, hopefully get one on screen. Yeah, this exciting. Looking forward to this. So we will have Kolbosa, Jakoden, and Gerbo for this next race. And I think, yeah, we'll see what the grid is. We'll see the positioning. Oh yeah, looking forward to this one. See if I can get the scoring update up here.
Be very interesting to see if the Gladius is going to pay off for day 2, because it fell just a bit short. Fell just a bit short on Snake Pit and Lorville.
Yeah, I think it's definitely. I mean, yeah, Snake Pit. I feel like it better turning, not as good in the straights. I know the 300 series is just real solid. But yeah, I think I don't know. I still think it's a pretty good option in terms of safety or avoiding issues just with those extra MAV strength. And it even though it might be a little slower on Providence, but it really does burn around some of those very tight turns. So even more so than Lorville, there's a bunch of really tight turns you need to do. All right, coming in here. All right.
So we're getting set up here for this. This is our final race, correct, at Lorville?
This is the C, and then we have the final.
C, okay.
This is the C.
Final heat.
Final heat. So let's see. I want to say throw out again. Thank you to ANSI Racing and Frontier for sponsoring the AUEC prizes for the individual pilots. So those will be for at the end of day 2 once we have all of the team scoring. So just a blurb about Frontier. You can find them at discord.gg/FCRN or frontierconsolidated.com. They're an organization built on friendship and strong collaborative gameplay. They find and push the boundaries of the verse, whether they fly a Mole or an M50. Home is on the Frontier. So yeah, thanks again, Frontier, for sponsoring.
Yeah, both ANSI and Frontier are racing community pillars. So racing definitely owes a lot to them for their not only the exposure, support, but the races that they put on and the teams that fly for them in races. So represent them in races.
For sure. I know Frontier is definitely usually seeing Frontier Consolidated pilots out there at ANSI races and other ones. So ANSI Racing, they're a collaboration of multiple orgs and content creators working together to provide the best community racing events for the benefit of all good Star citizens. They're ANSIRacing.com, discord.gg/ANSI Racing. So coming up in a couple months, they're running Scarlet Apex, which is at least this year, a 0G endurance combat race. So they have everything from snubs and carriers to individual ships to ships with turrets. I ran Scarlet Apex one year. It was a lot of fun. So we have again another team race. So you're either teams of 2 and solo ships. And funnily enough, the part of the Scarlet Apex track is actually an overlap with Miner's Paradise. So the first 7 checkpoints of Miner's Lament, which is how far you can take Miner's Lament before there's an invisible asteroid. That part is also part of the Scarlet Apex track this year, Sinful Chain. So if you've been practicing Miner's Paradise for Neno Cup, you have a leg up in practicing Sinful Chain as well. I believe that's coming up in September. I know also scr.gg/events. SCR mentioned had leaderboards for races as well as track guides and everything. They also have upcoming racing events. So for example, the racing school that XGR runs that I teach usually monthly or a couple times a month in different time zones. That's coming up, let's see, in August 7th and August 11th. You can find the details on scr.gg/events. And as well, Scarlet Apex is their team championship will be in 55 days, so end of September. All right, grid is ready. Oh, looks like a hold. Grid is almost ready. All right, getting ready here for our heat C. We have a 60-second call out. Camera getting set up to show turn 1 and the drop. Other camera showing the start. Alright, good luck everybody. Jacoden, Kolbosa, and Gerbo. We got 3 fast racers. Gerbo with that well-earned pole position on the performance so far today. Alright, 30 seconds.
Good luck, racers.
Just spying here, it looks like I believe we are in... Oh, right, that's right, 2 300s and Kolbosa in the Arrow. So again, it is Arrow versus the 300s. Getting ready for the start here. Should be any second now.
Here we go.
Alright, we're up. Gerbo in front, coming into the chicane. Jacoden with the... staying in front. Looks like Jacoden's maybe gonna... Yep. Take it tight.
Inside pass there.
Inside pass. Gerbo making
Oh,
up
Gerbo's
some ground.
right with him. Gerbo with the overtake. Wow.
Oh, and Jacoden with the overtake again. Jacoden blasting ahead onto the Skyway. Looks like Kolbosa still slightly slower again, maybe not able to keep up with the 300s. 300s blasting through here. Jacoden we can see through brake check. That was a very fast turn through there. That might actually be...
Gerbo went way too wide there. Gonna get the recovery though.
Okay, yep. And then Jacoden onto the final stretch. That's one thing I like about that brake check turn. It is a 180, but you can take it wide and survive. There's other turns like the snake pit. If you take them too wide, you blow up. So a little more forgiving. And Jacoden finishing lap 1, securing points. Through the chicane here, approaching the drop. We got Gerbo. Watching Gerbo now. Gerbo also approaching the drop.
Oh, Jacoden went wide and boomed on the drop at the gap between the rocks. Gerbo just has to survive now.
So yep, so that's Jacoden out. Gerbo needs to survive.
Oh, it looks like Gerbo took impact, knocked off a wing here.
Okay, so Gerbo is going to be... Gerbo's got control of the ship, I think. Missing one wing. The 300 series is really tough to fly with only one wing. But
Kolbosa's right there and closing the gap quickly.
We saw Gerbo's skills with the ship missing parts. Yadar.
Kolbosa easily overtakes him
with the overtake.
Gerbo with the damaged ship.
Yeah, the 300 series can take a beating, but it is really tough to fly with only one wing. I know part of the challenge there is, yeah, just rolling into turns is difficult. Yep, you're missing the retro on the side of the wing that you lost. Yeah, Kolbosa easily coming into this final straight. All right, coming through, and Kolbosa coming into this final turn. And over the line, starting lap 3. It's like an easy lead ahead of Gerbo as we come back into the drop. The drop, I think, this might be the turn that's claimed some of the most racers today. I mean, Snake Pit being challenged, but yeah, easily through the drop in that Arrow. Again, I think the maneuverability gives you a lot more room to play with from the extra mabs. And coming up through here, Kolbosa heading to the Skyway, lap 3. Lorville out. Lorville outskirts. If you're familiar with the old PU version of the track, it was originally called Lorville Gateways. It was renamed to Lorville Outskirts when it made its way officially into the game of the PU. And Kolbosa heading on to the final stretch. If you ever saw the old track, all of these gates and things were actually here. I know CIG added a lot of extra things for extra turns, but the main gates that you see folks pass through, and beautiful win for Kolbosa. With the traditional automatic explosion at the end there. All right, so we see Gerbo. I think Gerbo on the Skyway on lap 3. I think we can get a lap finish out of Gerbo. Oh, camera down.
Oh.
All right. Comes Gerbo. Makes it way through some of the difficult parts. It is with less maneuverability. Gerbo is taking it real easy. There is no reason to boom. Oh, beautiful drift into there. Gerbo showing us how it's done. Into the final turn, which is tricky with only one wing. Because you're getting lift trying to roll you right, but Gerbo needs to roll left across the finish. And keeping it clean across the line. Great demonstration.
Nice job, Gerbo. Nice job.
Survival skills can sometimes be really worth practicing. All right, and here we are with the final. That's right, Herbie, making a habit of half a ship finishes. If you do 2 half a ship finishes, does it count as a single finish? Yeah, congrats. Congrats, Kolbosa.
Nice job. Sorry about that, Steve. I was trying to crash to fix my camera. I had the blurry peripheral bug.
All right, so we are, I guess, getting set up for this final here. And let's see who are our racers. Our racers in the final. We will have Boltok clinching that Heat A. We have Fresh with a solid performance in Heat B. And then Kolbosa rocketing ahead in Heat C. So I don't know, Kale, what are you thinking we're going to see here in this final atmospheric race?
I think that it's definitely going to be a 300 series if they make no mistakes, and take no damage. As far as who is going to do that in that ship, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's a total coin toss between these two at this point.
No, that is entirely fair, and I think probably as we saw in that last race, I mean, if one of the ships makes a mistake, ends up damaged, whatever, I think the Arrow can definitely. The Arrow is probably the best to be able to, dodge collisions in front, dodge other racers, dodge obstacles. So probably some of the best, I think. Definitely still in the running, and I know there's definitely still points to be earned in the final as well. If Kolbosa survives that first lap and can walk away with 30 points.
All right, we're getting this final lobby set up.
All right, and the grid so far, Boltok in front, then Fresh, then okay. Grid is Fresh, Boltok, Kolbosa going off of cumulative points so far. And again, we will post the scoring update for all of the team scoring at the end of this race. And we will do the audience giveaway between the Lorville race and the Miners Lament final. Alrighty.
Oh, sorry. Collided with somebody there.
Happens to the best of us. Okay, so we've got, let's see, we will have in this race, we'll have onboards with Boltok and Fresh. So we will be able to see dueling POVs. Actually, no, sorry, we will just onboards with Fresh, not with Boltok. All right, let's throw Boltok's profile on stream. So Boltok second place in last year's Anzi Racing Sim Cup, and won 2 bounties this year. I believe Boltok won the M50. Was it the M50 Lorville bounty? I think. That was a tight battle that we had going for that one. So yeah, congrats Boltok for winning that. One of the fastest consistent racers out there. So. Then French.
Yeah, Boltok has been around since he's been in XGR since 2021. And has been on the racing scene sort of just consistently fast.
And Fresh flagged as Denmark, representing Sanguis Red or Sanguis Luna Team Red. Also, the online racing, that's the official SC leaderboard. So Fresh is 7th overall in the online Arena Commander leaderboards. All right, then Kolbosa flagged for Russia, representing Solo Turbor, second in last year's Sim Cup. And I think it probably a different division, and also
different class.
Yeah, different class. All right, grid is set. Let's get in here. Show our start. Got seeing Boltok, seeing Kolbosa. Here in pole position with Fresh. Remember, folks, when we do that audience giveaway, we'll just need you to throw some stuff in chat, be active, and we will do the giveaway from folks that are active in chat. 60 seconds to race start. Last Planetary Atmo race of the day. These racers, they've raced each other before. This is the Fresh Boltok is a rematch of the Yadar final, which Fresh won. So we'll see if Boltok can pull it out and beat Fresh in this second final showdown. All right, and they are off. Fresh in the lead, Boltok behind. Coming through here into turn 1. Fresh ahead of Boltok. Makes it through the drop clean. Boltok through the drop clean. All right, and coming up towards the Skyway. Fresh still pretty decently in front of Boltok. Entering the Skyway. On the brake check, let's see.
Boltok right on his tail.
Pretty close.
Not giving up any ground. Yeah, not giving up any ground.
Fresh coming through. Fresh on the final straight. Boltok on the final straight. That looks like 2-3 second gap. Let's see, Fresh has been very consistent so far, and I think might have even had a tighter line around brake check. Let's see, Fresh coming in, finishing that first lap. Just over a minute flat. Yeah, and then 2.8 seconds. Boltok.
A little bit of a gap and increase there at the end of lap 1, it looks like.
Yeah, Fresh clean through the drop again. All right, 122 for Kolbosa. So yeah, definitely slower on this track. Yeah, Fresh coming through here. Decent separation to Boltok.
About a kilometer, looks like.
That beautiful drift. Yeah, I think that was, of all the racers, I want to say Fresh had the cleanest lines through there. It was sort of a very, very aggressive early turn. Coming through the final straight here. Using the rear camera, I know, definitely a good trick if you're racing. Use that rear camera, you can see how close someone is behind you. And on to lap 3 for Fresh. Boltok crossing, 3.6 seconds. So yeah, gap slightly increasing. I think we're going to need a mistake out of Fresh for Boltok to catch up. However, Boltok still does need that second place finish. And if Boltok DNFs and Kolbosa finishes, then Kolbosa will take that second place. So Boltok still just needs to keep it clean, keep ahead of Colbosa. Maybe doesn't need to push on Fresh as hard. No reason to push it real hard and then rest the points.
Yeah, Fresh is giving up no ground, so
This
it's if I were Boltok, I would just race as consistently as I can and stay safe and just get the points. Yeah.
Yeah. Get the points.
Fresh is really just like a robot through here.
Yep. Look at that, and yeah, Boltok entering that final straight. A little slower.
But to Boltok's credit, Fresh really just has not been able to pull away.
And over the line, just over 3 minutes flat. And Boltok over the line. Also, notably, Boltok in the 325. So we saw a 325 versus 350. I think there could be something to that idea that the 325 and 300 are lighter, but the 350 might have better arrow. So yeah, gorgeous racing.
Great, good race.
Colbosa coming around brake check here, keeping it clean and earning those third place points in the final. That extra 30 points here. Yeah, Gerbo saying 350 has better arrow and turns so much better. So yeah, it's a heavier but better arrow. Colbosa coming through. And a great consistent finish out of Colbosa. One thing I'll say is as we go into day 2 at Providence Park, when we've got all, I think 11 to 13 racers are all going to be together. You can see a lot of DNFs, and sometimes the consistent ship with better maneuverability can win out. But yeah, that's it. Congratulations, Fresh, winning the final at Lorville, the Planetary Atmo final.
Well done, Fresh.
All right, and racers will be taking a 10-minute break. All right, and when racers are back, we'll do that. We'll do that audience giveaway. Let's see. Let's get let's
Pulling down in here.
yeah, let's pull Fresh down in here before the race is going to break.
Congratulations. That was well done.
Congrats, Fresh. Very clean there. I think Fresh might be on a break.
AFK.
We'll grab Fresh later.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah. But yeah, I think need to talk to Fresh about both Yadar and Lorville. And actually Snake Pit. Yeah, I guess Fresh has swept all 3 of the ship classic races. So yeah, we have a lot to talk to Fresh about. But yeah, very, very exciting there.
And so talk us through day 2, Steve. So how will that play out?
Yep. So day 2, we're going to be racing PU and Desync, God's willing. We will be racing in the PU. It's a track called Providence Park. Actually, I will try to get the Flythrough up here, but it's set around a Providence platform, which is the one closest to the Orison spaceport. We're going to be running 3 races there. They're going to be 6 laps, and it is a 15-minute time limit. And the racers are earning up to 350 points for first place. So today's races, I want to say are, I think it's 950 total. Yeah, 500, 250, 150, 150, 150, 250. So 950 points on the table today, and then up to 1,050 points, because it'll be up to 350 points for first place. So even if you're in first place today, you can still be eclipsed by consistent racers on day 2. So yeah, we will be in the PU at Orison, 3 races, all the racers at once, 6 laps. A lot of points on the table, and we will crown the Neno Cup champion after those finals.
Beautiful.
Data Machine asks if it's Euro Truck or short track. No, Providence Park is a different track. I will get that fly-through up on screen. I can do this right. Just show Providence. All right, here's our fly-through Providence.
I've never flown this truck myself.
So, track guide still need to get the track guide up. That will be up hopefully Monday. So what you're seeing here, so you can race and practice Providence Park in the Dunlow Derby map. So what you see here is we are approaching the start line of Providence Park. It is the park that Providence Park is named after, this lovely little strip with this tower here. And the start line is behind the flags. I'm sorry, this is August 17th is day 2, so it'll be at the same 1600 BST. All right, so turn 1, you are doing an almost 180-degree turn into one of the Orison platforms. Through here. Apologies for all the wrong direction callouts. And again, when you're racing this in the PU, all of these billboards aren't here, all the distracting hologates aren't there. But again, you can practice this here. You just do have to dodge some of these that might affect your line. So flying through this platform, you can see there's lots of little antennas that can stick up. If you're familiar racing the Crux Cup, when it was at the Ahumahi Ring, you will know that those antennas can be challenged over the first bar, under all these other bars. I know some racers like to stay on the left side as they fly through, and then as they do their 180, come into the right side of this top of the platform. Then you are going to aim for the gap in the roof here. And I'm keeping it flat during this fly-through, but there's a lot of crazy rolling that happens here. You're going around the Crusader Tower, and then you are flying more or less directly behind like Cousin Crows and the Orison Industrial Platform. So you do very briefly fly through an impound zone, just don't take it too slow. Then we fly under the platform, below that pipe, above that landing pad. Then we are going to do a 270-degree turn around this barge that you see up ahead. So basically behind and around this fin. Then we're going to go up and over, potentially keeping it high because there are going to be racers flying below you. Then we cut it close and we fly around the second barge. So we're going to fly under it, around the nose, and then through the Australis platform, which if you're familiar with Australis pinball, this is a mirror of one of the dicey turns from Australis pinball. So around the nose here, and it is a very sharp angle coming into this platform. You can take it as wide as you want. Again, you have to be careful you don't cut it too close. Just through the center of this platform, below all the bars. Then we fly up towards that big old Providence logo, dodge any of those Orison barges that you see. And then we're going to dive down. And we're at that same start from before, and you're just going to go behind the dashed line, below the bar, and you are set up for another lap at Providence Park. So again, you can practice this in the Dunlow Derby map. I always recommend racers practice and race in the PU. Sometimes the PU can be a challenge, but things are different in the PU. You don't want to do all your practice there. But yeah, that was it. That's Providence Park. So that will be day 2, August 17th. The racers that were here today, either them or their teammates will be there racing Providence Park. So hope to see you there, racers and viewers.
Yeah, that'll be an exciting race. Should look dynamic. And they're going to race that in what ship?
And
What ship class?
their team ship choices. So whatever their ship choices were for the other race. So that will be origin ships for the origin teams.
Yeah.
All right. So looks like we have our points for the. We have our points for after the end of Lorville going into the final. We rank it. We will get all of our teams. And then I will get that shared on stream. But yeah, so just calling it out verbally, we've got Sanguis Red in the lead with 670 points. Sanguis Black in second place with 490. Team Washed Up is in third with 410. Turbor is in fourth with 360. The Origin Speedsters are in fifth with 300. Q Prime is in sixth with 200. Psy Racing Team is in seventh with 190. And Team XGR is in eighth with 160.
Yeah, Sanguis really represented today.
Yeah, I know. A lot of teams have been doing a lot of practice, and it's awesome to see. Awesome to see folks that are also part of a racing team all get out there and make a good showing of it. Almost ready with those points. Copy. All right.
And if you just want to quickly position me, Steve, that'll help.
Gotcha. Okay, let me get these scoring results up on stream. I think for time reasons, I think we'll do the audience giveaway at the end of the endurance race. Copy. Okay, race direction just said overlay order is the grid order. All right, thanks for your patience getting these results ready. Thanks for your patience there. All right, so yeah, talking through it. Yep, so you see, yeah, Sanguis Red. Sanguis Red in front, 690. 490 for Sanguis Black, then 410, 360, 300, 200, 190, and 160 for Team XGR. And just so how that's broken down. So again, as a reminder, we're taking the best score from each teammate for each event, and that's giving you the that team's final score. For each event. So as an example, on Yadar Valley, Sanguis Black, Jellyhead had 0 points, but GerboTheGnome had 100 points, so the team score for that event was 100. So having a teammate there definitely helps even out some of the bumps, because you can have DNFs, you can have collisions. all of that. Yeah, let's
Steve, can you position me quickly?
sure. All right. Back in 1 second. Taking a quick break. back, everybody. Looks like we are getting the racers set. This is going to be a 15-minute endurance race, as many laps as the racers can do. And then once 15 minutes is elapsed, whoever is over the line first will call checkered flag, racers finish your laps, and the rest of the racers will finish out their laps. And again, this is the Miners Lament free flight map, and the racers are going to be more or less doing the first 7 checkpoints of Miners Lament, and then they'll be moving back around to the start finish. Sorry, them crosstalk on the music there. All right. Race direction, can I get an ETA? All right, 60 seconds. All right, it's going to be a challenging course. Again, we were watching the fly-through before. It's a very tight ring. A lot of mistakes can happen in 0G. It's easy to overspeed. I know we have some of the best 0G racers out here, but it is going to be a crowded track. This is 11 racers, so best of luck. If any of them get lost, they'll have to go back to the start-finish and restart their lap. So 30 seconds. Checking in with Soap, Fresh, Jacodin, and Boltok. And we've got our 2 cameras, then our wide overhead. Alright, we're starting any second now. And they're off.
There we go.
Alright, through checkpoint 1. On to checkpoint 2. They're coming through here into the slingshot. Looks like we have 1 DNF already, Kelsar. Fresh ahead of Boltok. Boltok pulling a little cleaner. Boltok, oh, they are neck and neck through checkpoint 5. DNF out of Soap 1. It's checkpoint 6 under that platform. Right on top of each other. They're coming in through the 7th checkpoint. Fresh and Boltok coming up through the start finish. They are, it looks like Fresh pulling ahead.
Oh, Boltok went a little wide.
All right, jumping in with Boltok, looking behind, you can see there's a lot of heavy G's here. Going into that 2nd checkpoint. They said we're going to the slingshot. Fresh just there in front of Boltok.
Gerbo making up ground on them, it looks like.
Coming through checkpoint 5, we are Boltok. Oh, Boltok with the overtake, maybe? Yep, through checkpoint 6, Boltok with the overtake. But Fresh neck and neck, maybe Fresh pulling ahead.
Yeah, Boltok might be a little boost starved from that recovery.
Yep, and then Fresh doing the climb up into the start finish. DNF out of Ricky. Boltok right behind. See Boltok chasing down Fresh still. The 42nd lap out of Boltok. This is incredible. They're coming through here through the slingshot and then diving down into checkpoint 5. We are on lap 3. So there's a lot of laps to go for 15 minutes. So these racers are going to be pacing themselves. Looks like Boltok is maybe going to get close to Jelly, possible black marker. You see there's this climb that we have. Looks like maybe Jacodin was a little lost here. It's easy to get lost, especially in that turn. See Caliber here. It's like, yeah, Boltok is getting a rejoin here. Yep, Boltok is back in the race. Check in with Fresh. I think Fresh is still first.
He is, yep.
This smooth slingshot into checkpoint 5. Then checkpoint 6, making it look easy, just keeping that butt of that 350 point into the turns. And then we go up to the start finish. And you see it's a very sharp angle, so you got to keep it real clean here. This is a really dangerous turn. And you have to slow down enough to get onto, yep, checkpoint 1. Oh, looks like Fresh got a little lost there. Took it at the wrong angle. Easy turn to get lost on depending on the angle. Looks like Boltok maybe making up ground. Got a pack of racers there. Coming into the slingshot. Looks like Boltok on lap 4. Fox with an looks like Fox overtaking Gerbo. So there'll be Fox potentially in second. Boltok is a back marker. They're potentially going to lap Boltok. Alright, and Boltok just starting on lap 5. Start finish there. And Fox. It's the fastest lap out of Fox, 36 seconds. Gerbo there.
Wow.
Klobosa and Fresh. So it looks like Fresh lost a little time in getting lost, but is back in the game still. That checkpoint 2, and then onto the slingshots of checkpoints 3 and 4. Fresh chasing down Gerbo. And then on to checkpoint 6. So it looks like Boltok and Playing Fox actually dueling for the lead. See Boltok coming through here. I think Boltok is in first. Yep. Chasing down Jellyhead, who is in 6th with 5 laps. Endurance racing is really about consistency and just staying clean in a pack of other racers. You can see Boltok approaching Jellyhead. It's a really dicey spot to do a pass, but there's a lot of room in 0G. Coming back up to the start finish. And here we are for, this is Boltok starting lap 8, very cleanly getting the TVI through there. On checkpoint 2. Just check in on our overhead. Stay here for a bit. You can sort of see the ring that the racers are doing. So there's the direction you look at it where it's 2D. Okay, DNF out of Jacoden. So Boltok right here is just reaching checkpoint 6. Alright, Boltok reaching checkpoint 7. And then there is this shooting up to the start finish that you can see there. And we've got Fresh, Gerbo, and Jelly all hitting checkpoint 6. So checking in with Boltok. Here it is, your checkpoint 1. Beautiful roll there with Playing Fox 4 seconds behind. Coming here through the slingshot. 10 minutes to go. There's a lot of racing that's happened and a lot of racing still to go. Boltok on lap 9. Fox and Fresh not too far behind. So checking in with Fresh. We're only 7 kilometers behind Boltok. It is easy for these large gaps to open up in 0G. Oh, it looks like there's a Klobosa and Ricky DNF. I see the collision there. Potentially, if I see. All right, oh, Ricky DNF. Okay. Fresh coming through start finish. Check in with Boltok. All right. Checkpoint 7. And then Boltok coming back up to the start finish. Okay, yeah, looks like Ricky DNF'd a while ago. That was just a miscall by me. Through the start finish. So you can see here. Gerbo and Fresh.
Fresh finally looks like he gets the overtake there.
Yep, I think Fresh is a lap up on Gerbo.
Oh, is he really?
But they're still neck and neck coming through the start finish. Let's see. Then we've got Jelly. Jelly is, let's see, I think 2 laps down from Fox. So yeah, with such a tight track and such high speeds, it's really easy to have a large lap differential. But yeah, Jellyhead with 8 laps, Gerbo with 10, and then Boltok, Fox, and Fresh all dueling on lap 11. Let's see, checking in with Boltok. It's like Boltok just starting lap 12. And we've got Fresh here going up into the start finish. It's kind of a blind turn. Yep, Fresh sees it. About 3 kilometers behind Fox, coming through the start finish. I'm through checkpoint 1. So yeah, about almost a 7-second gap between Fox and Fresh. And it looks like Boltok has opened it up to about 12 seconds. Yeah, we're coming here through the slingshot. And then through checkpoint 6. And then through checkpoint 7. It's a little bit far behind. Yeah, 13-second gap. Yeah, Ricky mentioned it's exploding in the middle of nowhere. I think there is one invisible collision spot if you go wide on this track. Does happen. All right. Fresh coming through here to the slingshot, checkpoints 3 and 4. And following Boltok again. Boltok finishing lap 13. On to lap 14. So we are past the halfway point, 15-minute race. There's a lot of laps that'll be made up, a lot of laps to do. If you DNF now, you would very easily, someone can miss your lap count. Or eclipse your lap count. All right, then we have Fresh onto lap 14 as well, I think. Let that drift through checkpoint 2. And through the slingshot. Looks like Fox and Jelly are close, although Fox is 4 laps up on Jelly. It looks like they currently have a very similar pace. So we come back up to the start finish. It's a bit of a go-kart track, this one. Yeah, I know, Kalistar, how does it look to you?
It's from here. It's deceptive because it's so easy to lose track of who is past who.
Yep. And that's Fox coming into checkpoint 5. You can see there, and then Fox is hitting checkpoint 6, and then that next one is checkpoint 7. And then it is a jump up to the start finish that you can see. So Fox is basically going to do a climb. And you see that big red light, that's the start finish. Oh, 18-second gap. Boltok really opening it up. I wonder, Boltok might actually lap Jelly here. Looks like we had a DNF from Gerbo on lap 14. Boltok coming through here on a checkpoint 2. Currently one lap up from Fox and Fresh. Let's see, yeah. Fox and Fresh are about a half lap down. So Boltok has a pretty wide lead, but just needs to keep it clean. DNF now, and it'll be easy for folks to get more laps and get you Fresh coming through the start finish. And starting that next lap 17. So checking out the Boltok just finishing a lap. The Boltok only about 7 kilometers behind Fresh, so we might see Boltok lap 2nd and 3rd place potentially.
Somehow wouldn't surprise me.
Looks like we have 4 racers still running. There's a lot of points on the line here. But a lot of laps out of folks. We had 3 racers on lap 18. Jelly is on lap 13. We had 14 out of Gerbo, 7 out of Kobosa, 5 out of Jackaden, 2 out of Speedweed. And then Ricky Soap and Kelsar DNFing on the first lap. So still a lot of racing to do. But yeah, I see Boltok potentially catching Jelly as lapping as possible. But yeah, at this point in the race, I think they all just need to keep it clean. We have there's definitely room for a lot more separation in 0G racing. Let's see, Fresh. I think not wanting to risk it on some of these turns. Fresh coming through start finish. About 3 kilometers behind Playing Fox. All right, and again, reminder, at the end of this race, we're going to do the audience giveaway for that Racer LX, and it'll be based on who is active in chat within the previous 5 minutes, so just throw some messages in chat there, and that will get you entered in for the giveaway. All right, fresh 3 kilometers behind Fox. Nice and clean through that start finish. Here catching fresh. Yeah, about 6 seconds back. With 2 minutes to go, 6 seconds to make up, I think it's possible. Clearing through checkpoint 2 onto the slingshot. That's right, let's go. I think if now Jelly has caught Gerbo, I think it's possible. I guess teammates. So Gerbo is now secure in whatever points Jelly earns. Points for their team. And we have Fresh and Fox. That's Sanguis Red versus the Origin Speedsters are dueling it out for second place here. It looks like Team Washed Up doing pretty well. We've got just over a minute to go for Team Washed Up. Still on lap 21, all 3 on lap 21. But Team Washed Up might be walking out of here with another 250 points. We are through checkpoint 5 with Fresh. Gap closed to about 4 or 5 kilometers with Playing Fox. And checking in Bull Talk again through the slingshot. Yeah, 18-second gap. Last 30 seconds of the race. Here we are.
Commanding lead.
Commanding lead by Bull Talk. I think race direction is going to call checkered flag, probably the next lap that Bull Talk finishes after 15 minutes. That's likely what they'll do. Bull Talk through the start finish, 15 seconds to go. So I think we might have 2 more, either 1 or 2 laps more in this race, depending on how they call it. Looks like Fresh is going to be finishing up lap 23, as is Playing Fox. Yeah, Playing Fox just on lap 23 now. All right, racers are being instructed to finish their current laps. Looks like that is time. So we have Bull Talk. Looks like Bull Talk is going to get out of here with 24 laps, as is Playing Fox. I think that will be Fresh with 23 laps. And looks like Jellyhead will come out of here with 17 laps. So good racing, everybody. As a short endurance race, but 24 laps in 15 minutes is a pretty wild pace. So great racing, everybody.
Well done. Congrats, Bull Talk.
Congrats. All right, and there is that 17th lap out of Jelly and that 24th out of Playing Fox. Great racing, everybody. All right, we're going to wait for race direction is going to get those scores in. Oh, sheet is updated. All right. In the meantime, anybody that's there in chat, throw some messages in chat. That'll get you entered in to win that Razor LX. Anybody's eligible. If you're a racer, if you're hanging out, if you're a spectator, yeah, throw a let's go in chat. Let's do a big congratulations to Bull Talk, Playing Fox, Fresh, and Jelly for pounding it out for 15 minutes. That was an awesome performance to see. Good racing, everybody. And looks like sheet is updated. So let's get the results for minors. Let's get this up on stream. I'm going to show those final results. And so for our team, so we have... Oh, interesting. Okay, well, ignore SCR's ordering, because that is... I was going to be Bull Talk in first, then Playing Fox in second. Yeah, ignore the overlay. Fresh 001 in third, Jellyhead in fourth, Gerbo in fifth, Kolbosa in sixth, Chakota in seventh, and Speedweed, Ricky Tiki, Soap 1, and Kelsar. So points-wise, that was 250 points for Team Washed Up with Bull Talk. And then 220 points for the Origin Speedsters. So congratulations, Origin Speedsters, for clinching second place. 190 points for Sanguis Red with Fresh 001 and Jacoden. Also, 140 points there for Jacoden, but the 190 beats it. Then we have Solo Turbor, 150 points for Kobosa, and then Team XGR, 130 points for Team XGR. So great racing, everybody. This was awesome. Thank you all.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Last chance to throw something in chat.
Thank you for watching.
This is great. All right, so let's throw this. Okay, we're getting the photo finish ready, so let's do that audience giveaway. Last chance, throw something in chat. I give it 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rolling. And it is a Playing Fox. So congratulations, audience member Playing Fox. That Razor LX is yours. So congrats. Thanks for watching, everybody. I know this was an experiment for us doing this cup, doing all the AC races in one day. But thanks for coming out. Thanks for participating, practicing, watching, putting a team together, reading all the racer guides, following us. It was a lot of fun. So let's see. Holler when that photo finish is ready, and we will get that up on stream. Oh, yeah, all right. We'll get in there. All right, I am ready. Yeah, congrats, everybody. And I will get these final scores ready, or final scores out of day 1 to get ready to show on stream.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody coming out and supporting. And to Neno, if he's still listening, for the insight, the backstory, and for helping us make racing what it is today, truly.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think when we were talking about putting this cup together, there were a lot of things we were discussing. You know, should we include a ground race? Or like, what should it be? What kind of racing should it be? You know, let's include ground racing. Let's do it as a breadth. The one thing we instantly agreed on was the name of the cup is the Neno Cup, but basically naming it after one of the people that basically pushed racing into the community so that kind of everybody now can enjoy it, and Arena Commander and other events, and kind of really helped kick it off. So I know it was more underground for a while. We had groups like Anzia Racing, other groups doing like AC races for a long time. But yeah, with the XGR, the PU races, now kind of everybody gets to enjoy them. So thanks to CIG for taking that inspiration. Thanks to Neno for doing it, and thanks to everybody in the community for making tracks, doing races, showing up, watching races, being support. So all of this is because of you. So thank you. And let's check out those final results. All right, so it looks like we've got the current individual results that are exhibition racing, and we've also got these team results. So pending review, here are the team results. Let me get these up on stream. And so reading out the individual results, Fresh 001 with 830, Boltok in second with 660, Gerbo in third with 630, Playing Fox in fourth with 520, Kobosa in fifth with 510, Jelly in sixth with 430, Jacoden in seventh with 420, Speedweed in eighth with 290, Kelser in ninth with 200, Soapone in 10th with 190, Ricky Tiki with 190. All right, let me get these team results. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. All right, and ready to throw these on stream. All right, there it is. So after day 1, out of a possible 950 points, there's Sanguis Red with 860, Sanguis Black in 2nd with 660. I washed up. Actually, we are going to have to tie break, aren't we? We're going to have to time break these T results, so we'll do that offline, but looks like Team Washed Up and Sanguis Black are tied for 660, so we will sort that out. And then Origin Speedsters in 4th with 520, just behind Solo Turbor in 5th with 510, Team XGR in 6th with 290, Q Prime in 7th with 200, and Sire Racing with 190. So, congrats everybody. Great
GG's,
racing.
everybody.
GG's, thank you for coming out. And we will see you on day 2. Take care.